All right, good Tuesday morning. It's a big Tuesday on the show. I think I could do this for 17 more weeks, but welcome to the club, y'all. If you're the 0-1 club in the NFL, welcome. We have plenty of room for you. We just don't want to be 0-2. I don't have to, go to Detroit next week. Instead, we get Philadelphia. You get the Giants. But good morning, everybody. How are we doing? How are we?
Good morning, Gary. Not good.
Why?
Not doing good.
Here, I'm gonna cheer you up right away, okay? Because we got lots to discuss about your football game last night. If people missed it, the Vikings rallied to win on Monday Night Football.
How about that?
Again, it was not the Bills and the Ravens. It was not Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson.
No, it wasn't.
But it was another fourth quarter lead that was blown last night. I don't know if you know this or not. Fourth time in the last 4 years you've blown a fourth quarter lead.
No, I'm aware.
Now that's not a bad stat though.
What do you mean?
Because you've only had 4 of them. Yeah. But I'm gonna cheer you up. I'm gonna cheer you up. My man who tried to push a vasectomy on Connor Happer yesterday. My man, diehard Bears fans. Number one, it's your number one team.
Yes.
Like you live and die with that team.
I breathe with it.
There is the Bears. There is Northwestern basketball. There is mom and dad. There's the Huskers.
No, God, no. Northwestern basketball. Well, first off, mom and dad are one. let me get
No, I don't think so.
Let me get that
I think
out of
so.
the way.
You have a huge fandom for the Bears, which is fantastic.
And then the Bears. And then, yes, Nebraska.
Okay.
And then Northwestern football or Northwestern basketball is in the realm, but not over mom and dad.
Are you sure?
Yes, okay. I'm sure. Maybe Bryant McIntosh.
I think week 1 sometimes, most of the time, means nothing. So I'm going to help you with a little optimism here. But how you doing this morning? Stay up late last night?
I did.
I was a little tired.
I did not. I didn't go to bed until 1:30. Not because
you didn't just turn it off, go to sleep.
No, not because I was doing anything other than just being incredibly pissed off and thinking about the game. It sucked. Yesterday sucked. There was nothing about that was fun. Even when they scored on the first drive of the game, I could have told you he's pulling his eyes down too early. He's still inaccurate. He's still not ripping the football down the field. You know that there was guys schemed open. Troy Aikman, great job yesterday. He was as nice as he could possibly be, but he was basically telling everybody, there are people who are open downfield, and he's still not throwing it, even though he's checking the ball down. No, I'm not. Yes.
Week 1 sometimes means nothing in the NFL.
See, no, this means a lot.
Well, you have a quarterback that means a lot, but we'll get to him. So here, me as the I don't have anybody in the hunt last night, but I just watched because I like football, and I was thinking of you.
Thank you.
You really are 2-14 in divisional home games since 2020.
Matt Eberflus didn't win a divisional home game or a divisional game in his first, I think, 14 tries, 12 tries.
See, I thought the Jets were bad at home in divisional games, and then I heard that stat this morning, and I had to write it down because I just wanted to double check with you. But I'm going to tell you this. So last night, watching that game, which was a tale of 3 quarters against 1 quarter, it was not about the quarterbacks last night, according to this resident ball knower. I think actually it was very simple why your team lost last night. You want to know?
I think it's just because Kevin O'Connell is a much better head coach.
Well, just let me finish here. You lost last night because you couldn't run the ball. Amen. You did not have any discipline. Your lack of attention to detail, 12 penalties, 127 yards. And you found out last night, like many coaches do in their first game as a head coach, it's not that easy to go from OC to head coach. So I think it was easy, and I just told you that without talking about the quarterbacks. But if you'd like to talk about the quarterbacks, I may have a thought or two on both of them.
Can I have the floor?
Go ahead. This is your team. People are lined up at the gate.
We came to work to hang out with you.
They're going to treat you like a piñata, but you know what? You got a lot of Bears fans that are with you that are feeling the same way. So you have the pulse of Bear Nation. Bear down. Good luck.
As much as things change, things stay the same. It is so incredibly frustrating to have a new O-line, to have a new quarterback, to have a new wide receiver, to have a new coach, and yet you still false start 4 times in the first half. You still hold. I don't care that it wasn't a holding. You still commit penalties when you're in the red zone. You're still intentionally grounding. You're still not standing in the pocket. You're still not maneuvering the pocket. You're still missing field goals. And it's insane to me that this team over and over again. It's not like they just
love
lose.
this fan mode right now.
No. It's not. It's not
That's
like
a
they
fan
just
mode.
lose. They don't just lose. They lose in the most preposterous fashion that I could ever imagine. And the defense dominated in the first 2 quarters. Actually, the first 3
that
quarters.
has to sting. Like,
They look good.
Like the Bears were dominating.
Dominated.
Yeah, that has to hurt.
And when it matters
Crowd was
the
into it.
most, when it's nut cutting time. In the fourth quarter, I said, when they were marching down the field, I go, all right, are you a different team? Are you a different team? Is this where
Did you say that to your TV?
Yes, I said that.
That's awesome.
I said, are you a different? I literally said it to a room of nobody. I go, are you a different team? Like this, come and prove it. Come and prove that you're a different team here. Come and get another turnover. Come and get a fumble.
Yeah, just
come
picture his hair all disheveled by this point.
They're not a different team. They're not at all. They're the same franchise. They're the same sorry ass Bears. And like they will continue. And at some point, I asked myself, I go, why do I can't keep doing this to myself. Like I can't.
No, you're a fan. You're not going to quit.
Keep doing
You're not going to quit. You'll be right there to watch the Bears play in Detroit week 2.
Who was that guy that wasn't Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira? Do we know who that guy was?
That's the ESPN rules analyst.
He's awful. He was terrible yesterday. Okay.
I don't think he was the one throwing the flags.
No, but can you explain to me why that wasn't a fumble on TJ Hawkinson? Can you explain to me? He didn't get touched. He didn't touch him. He physically didn't touch him. He hit the ball first, and we didn't get a proper explanation as to why that wasn't a fumble.
Let me pull out my bingo card for you Bears fans, because you always start with the officials, and then you move to your quarterback, and then eventually it ends up with your owner. So I think you're doing pretty well here to start.
I can't blame her anymore.
Hey, let me give you another stat here, okay? That was only the second time in the history of the Twins and the Vikings that they both won on the same day on the road.
Hey, all right.
Hasn't happened since 1985.
All right, win, Twins win.
What a stat.
You want another stat for you? I'm trying to make you feel good because, again, I think week 1 in the NFL kind of means nothing. So you get a chance to be optimistic. Hey, it wasn't just your head football coach. His former boss and his former DC, they all lost on the week 1. Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell, and Ben Johnson all lost week number 1.
I didn't think about that.
So, I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. You can't fully wallow in the misery.
Justin Fields and the Jets scored 30 more points than the Bears did.
Yeah.
Also, the Lions lost to the Packers, so I'm not going to feel good about anything that the Lions do. By the way, how do you have a full training camp? You have a full like.
Are we getting to number 18?
No, not yet.
Because he was in that training camp.
A full training.
Remember, he didn't want to play in Minnesota. His dad said, "No, we're not going to play in Minnesota."
It's a beautiful stadium. I don't know why.
Like he should have had a choice. He's not playing like a guy.
That head coach.
He's not playing like a guy who should have a choice. All right. He's not. He's not playing like a guy who should have chosen where he gets to go in his franchise. We'll get to him in a second. But how do you have a full training camp and you have 12 penalties for 124 yards?
Well, because your head coach is from the Dan Campbell coaching tree. What did they do in Detroit last year?
A lot of penalties.
Lots of penalties. You know what? I was impressed by your team. You were the better team for 3 quarters. You dominated. Matt, that was a crazy turnaround. I don't know that anybody saw that coming.
Oh, we saw it coming.
But the Vikings defense, and the Vikings defense is tough to run on, and you guys couldn't run the ball. That defense was impressive what the Vikings did. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy. But are you more upset at your offense or your Dennis Allen defense that gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter?
Well, Dennis Allen proved why he got fired as a head coach, because he clearly got out-schemed in the fourth quarter. I mean,
I got KOC is one of the best play callers and feelers for game to run a read option that late in the game, to put your linebacker on skates on the wheel route to Jones for the touchdown pass.
They've done that. Like for the last 3 years now. Not like when he was last year against the Vikings, they would put a linebacker on him and they'd be like, oh, why'd we get beat in the passing game? When he was in the 2023 opener, Aaron Jones had his greatest game of all time because we did exactly that. We kept lining him up with linebackers. And then yesterday, they put Noah Sewell, who isn't even the starter. That guy's a backup. And they put him on Aaron Jones. And then they go, oh, why'd you get lost? No, I'm more mad at my offense. I'm more mad at the fact that 4th and 2, you first off, the analytics boy, who's standing on the sideline, who's wearing the headset, who's the head coach, Mr. Analytics, Mr. He's super smart.
I love fandom.
They tell him to kick it.
So far, so good.
The analytics said to kick the ball. They said, hey, take the 3 points. And he goes for it. And then your inaccurate quarterback on short routes ends up, he missed it.
He was inaccurate on 47% of his passes. So to be fair, it wasn't long or short.
He misses the pass. That was a good one. He misses it. They don't convert on 4th down. They don't take the points that they desperately need. And then let's also not get over the fact that the Bears have a kicker who barely made his first field goal, can't kick it 50 yards.
That was a big turning point in that game.
And then
he missed a 50-yarder.
And then Will Ricard hit a 59-yarder. He hit a 59-yard field goal.
That was huge at the end of the first half. I thought that was monstrous. I think that started to help JJ McCarthy.
I think
because it helped with his confidence because they didn't sit on the ball when they got it back.
I couldn't agree more. I could not. And first off, I went to the bathroom with 28 seconds left.
Why?
Because I thought they were going to kneel the ball.
Do you not know how to watch football?
Oh,
Do you not know how to watch your team?
I did that in the 7th game and cost my team a season.
They were going to kneel the ball, Jimmy. There was 28 seconds
You
left.
hold it.
28 seconds. I'm like, there's no way that they're going to go ahead and march. Sure as hell. Go down. I get up from the Potter, and like it's 11 seconds.
I didn't need to hear
left.
that part.
And
you wet yourself if you have to. You have to win the game. It doesn't matter. You're home.
It was stupid. And then can I say this?
Kind of gotten a little awkward here.
Can I say this too?
It's your floor. It's Bear fandom.
So
because I got some reactions.
They go ahead and they smartly, very smartly, score before the 2-minute warning. For the 2-minute warning, they score. Massive switch.
Huge.
And
27-24.
They're saying
2:02 to go.
They're saying on the air, they go, well, you got to have Cairo Santos kick it out of the end zone. Okay. I don't know for people who haven't been watching.
Did he play for the Chiefs?
Cairo Santos doesn't have a leg. Cairo Santos cannot physically kick the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And Aikman almost said it. He almost said, he goes, well, actually, and then he kind of like held back because he didn't want to be disrespectful. But he almost said, well, actually, they should have him kick it out of bounds. Just have him kick the ball out of bounds. Don't even flirt with the fact that you don't have the leg to kick it out of the end zone. No, he tries to kick it out of the end zone. He fails. They take it out. They waste 40 seconds. I tweeted it out before it happened. I said, have Cairo kick it out of bounds. The fact that I know that and my head coach doesn't know that is an embarrassment.
No, I'm going to back up your head coach here because I like your head coach. I just think he found out you just don't snap your fingers and go from OC to head coach in the first game of your career. He said after the game that was they told him to kick it out of the end zone or something else because he basically threw his kicker under the bus in the post game. So I hope that makes you feel a little bit better.
No, it doesn't. Because he should know that Cairo can't kick it out of the end zone. He physically can't do that. I don't know, man. It's all right. Let's get to 18. Everybody was fawning over the whole 10 for 10 thing.
Yeah.
To start the game.
You did tell us he was coming, right?
It looked like he told Caleb's coming. He said Caleb's coming.
Yeah, I thought
Caleb's coming. You know what? I saw Cotton Bowl Caleb last night at the beginning of the game. He looked really good. He was out of the pocket. He was making moves. He was running. He was throwing on the run.
Why was he out of the pocket, though? He was forcing himself out of the pocket multiple times. And yes,
I just wanted him to throw to the third level, but he was not comfortable throwing to the third level last night.
Yeah, there was the corner route in halfway through the first corner that DJ Route ran, which was absolutely gorgeous, and he was wide open, and he just decided he was bringing his eyes down a couple of times yesterday when the offensive line.
It's okay. He's starting his first game of his second year in the NFL. He'll learn.
You think? You hope. I mean, it's incredible how much Shane Waldron in that offensive line just absolutely messed him up last year because he thinks that he does not have as much time as he actually does. He has way more time in that pocket. Also, Jonah Jackson, there's a reason why he was a Pro Bowler 2 years
First
ago.
time that name's ever been mentioned on 1620.
And he had, I think, 3 false start penalties. He absolutely missed multiple blocks in the run game. Also, too, they
the Bears go 0-18, 0-17.
Ryan Poles.
Hell, go 0-18. This is kind of fun.
Made this BS excuse. No, Ryan Poles. I need to get this out.
This is young Skokie Matt calling into 670.
Because this is a hunk of crap right here. Ryan Poles had the gall to sit down after the NFL
there you go.
draft.
That's also on the bingo card. You've now hit your GM.
He had the gall to sit down after the NFL draft, have his press conference, and say, hey Ryan, it was kind of clear that you wanted to get a running back. Why didn't you get a running back? And he was like, well, you get into pockets of the draft. There are pockets of the draft where maybe you can't get the guys that you wanted, and we just seem to be in a pocket that you couldn't get a BS. You have draft picks. If you really want a running back, you can trade up for one. You can go. I don't know if you knew that was an option. He could go ahead and offer some multiple draft compensations or whatnot to go and get the running back that you need. No, you go ahead. You don't draft a running back. You have Kyle Monungai in the 7th round. He ends up getting hurt. He's absolutely useless. And then you don't have a running game with old DeAndre Swift in the backfield yesterday, which, by the way, Ben Johnson doesn't even like DeAndre Swift because he stopped using him in Detroit when he was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I think he had, 3 of his 17 carries were successful, according to the metrics. I was impressed more by Minnesota's quarterback than Chicago's quarterback, but I'm not enamored with J.J. McCarthy after one game. Now, he had a lot of poise in the 4th quarter, and you could tell he's a really smart quarterback with a genius offensive mind as his head coach, but they had confidence in him. Like, their play calling built his confidence, and he had a lot of poise. I didn't think I'd be saying that I was more impressed by J.J. McCarthy than I was Caleb Williams. You got an accuracy issue. You got a major accuracy issue with a guy that has started a full season in the NFL and now is starting year 2, and he is your franchise. So it's only week 1. Hey, NFL, you can't take a lot away from week 1 because you know what? You get a week 2.
Jay, what you saw yesterday was the difference between a guy who went 27-1 and won a national championship in college and a guy who just won Heisman.
No. J.J. McCarthy was not the second coming last night. I still got some problems with his mechanics. And he had a lot of balls that were batted down, and he's going to learn as he goes. And the numbers weren't great, but the 4th quarter was great, and he might be a clutch genie guy. I don't know. Like that stat is out there about ever since he stood on the field and watched TCU celebrate, when they beat him in the semifinals. Yeah. He's 16-0. So he's 28-1 in his last 29 games that he started as a quarterback, and all time he's 64-3. Should we have a quarterback win stat number, like on the stat page?
Probably.
I know it's a team game. It really doesn't get brought up a lot.
That's a great stat, by the way. He's 68-3.
64-3.
64-3.
Yeah, as a starting quarterback in his lifetime.
Mount Carmel kicked his ass his sophomore year in the Class 6A championship game. I got a good story about that. There was a tip, basically. Somebody had told Mount Carmel, this is a legendary story. Somebody had told Mount Carmel, hey, JJ does this on runs and this on passes. And the Mount Carmel DC went back and watched every single snap of JJ and found the tip.
Oh, so he has an asterisk next to those 3 losses.
No. One of the losses was literally just because he was accidentally tipping running plays and pass plays.
They don't blame Jose Altuve.
And Mount Carmel found out. And when he did the run tip, they would send the house on him and they would stuff him. And then when we did the pass tip, they would throw 8 back in coverage. And Mount Carmel kicked Nazareth's ass like 34-10 or something.
Hair of the dog.
So he's actually really only lost 2 games. So, but yeah, he's a winner. Guy's a winner, and we're just a bunch of losers. That's what we're just. No matter who you bring in, we just lose. That's all we do. We just lose.
Yeah, nice field last night.
No, we didn't.
I don't know if you saw the painting of the goal line. The goal line looked like it was as straight as Nebraska's band on Saturday night when they were lined up to do halftime.
The field looked like it was mid-November.
Yeah,
how's that happen already?
Because they hosted 5 concerts.
Oh, yeah. Oasis, that's right.
Over the summer. Yeah. And it's this has been an issue with Chicago Bears football for years. Back when I was in 3rd grade.
When I was in 3rd grade.
They had a fan fest and I was supposed to go to that fan fest and meet a bunch of players, and we bought tickets. We ended up not going because they sent out a memo. They were like, hey, the field is so bad that the players can't practice on this.
I remember that one.
They had to cancel the fan fest because of it. This has been and then apparently 2 years ago, Matt Eberflus came in and he looked at the grass and he was like, you guys need new grass. And so they reinstalled brand new grass.
Why?
I guess they didn't keep it.
There's this Pittsburgh, Washington, and Chicago have the worst fields.
Candlestick always had bad fields. And
I'm just glad nobody got it.
I mean, you guys are wimpy enough that you're going to play in a dome. Mm-hmm. You sure going to have field turf too?
Okay. Albert Breer. I love Albert Breer. His tweet. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Okay.
Buffalo's not playing in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they have that. They have the stadium where it's like it funnels out the wind. They've created
There's still
this
a hole. There's still a hole. Cowboys never played in a dome.
Yeah,
when they were over Texas Stadium.
Texas. They're in Texas. Texas is way better weather than Chicago.
It snowed on Thanksgiving, 1993. Leon Lett kicked the ball.
Dolphins.
I've been to a cold playoff game in Dallas.
Do you know how nice it is to be warm? And also, too, you saw what kicking in that field was like yesterday. If they were in a dome,
that's on the bingo card. Now we've gone to blaming the field.
I'm just saying the Soldier Field wind is really messed up, and it's very hard to kick in that stadium.
By the time we get through with this segment, you'll be blaming Ditka, Peyton, and Steve McMichael.
Well, I mean,
for not showing up last night.
I won't blame Mongo, but I mean, the 85 Bears were out there, and you thought that.
You know what was really cool last night? That they acknowledged them, because people really don't talk about the 85 Bears.
They had them all hold up. Was that a replica Super Bowl trophy, or was that the one?
No, that was the real thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Looks brand new. It looked really good.
Well, trust me, it's not brand new. It's about 40 years old.
Did you see Samurai Mike? Mike looked good yesterday.
Mike looked good. I love that team. It's unfortunate that some of the guys I mentioned, Buddy Ryan, are passed, because that was fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a Bears team where they would drink the night before they played a game. How things have changed in sports, like the things you would do the night before a game. Like the legendary stories of drinking, the Red Sox and stuff like that. But the Bears, like people would say, yeah, I drank with Jim McMahon the night before a game in '85.
Bill Murray had a good story.
Wow, how cool is that?
Well, clearly, Caleb Williams having all the water and electrolytes and cryotherapy or whatever the hell you call it doesn't matter. By the way, what the hell was he wearing under his jersey? What was that?
That was driving me crazy. As someone with those
he was wearing?
The undershirt?
Yeah.
To tuck in your shirt.
He's got no aura, no drip, no steeziness, just zero. Just ugly Nike gray undershirt.
Those are like the ugliest.
Look like a sleep shirt under him.
What happened to him coming then? He leave?
I don't know.
He made a couple of nice throws.
Yeah, because he forced himself outside of the pocket. Yeah, I could get all excited about you rolling right and throwing to Rome Odunze on the only touchdown you scored the entire game. But at the same time, you didn't have to roll right. Your protection was perfect. It was perfect. He had so many times where the protection was actually so stable. And he just decided to escape the pocket and leave the pocket for zero reason.
See, I think you should listen to Aikman last night. He was spreading some optimism on SVP's Sports Center.
He won 3 Super Bowls.
He said, hey, might not be the night you wanted, but, there's good things on the horizon.
I don't think Troy Aikman has watched enough Bears football to just recognize that is just not a statement that he should be making. I mean,
I don't think Troy Aikman ever lost to the Bears.
I mean, he didn't bring up the clock management or anything like that. So
Also, too, the Bears have the 29th hardest schedule in the NFL this season.
Yeah, okay? So you'll bounce back.
This is a game.
It'll be tough in Detroit, though. 0-1 team.
You had an opportunity to win a game. You had an opportunity to win a game with an incredibly tough schedule. You had an opportunity to, they were underdogs right before kickoff, and then all of a sudden the line flipped.
Yeah, that was weird. -1.5 to plus, or +1.5 to -1.5.
It flipped in the last 6 hours.
People saw the visuals of downtown Chicago. They saw the great weather. They saw the Bears.
Oh,
and they said, you know what? This is the night for the Bears. I thought it was the night for the Bears when they were up 17-6.
I thought it was the night for the Bears when Jim Cornelison was out there.
Yeah. Him and Wayne Messmer should do the anthem together. Mm-hmm. That's my Chicago national anthem take.
I even had to text Matt. I was so excited.
What?
You think they're rivals, Wayne and Jim?
I don't know. Wayne Messmer has had some health issues. He's not back at Wrigley Field as often as he used to be. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think Jim is sang much at Wrigley Field. He's a South Side guy.
See, I watched the 2013 Game 7 Detroit Red Wings versus Chicago Blackhawks national anthem after the game was over to just make myself feel better. And
wow.
Respect. I get
Other
that.
people do things after games to make themselves feel better. You watch YouTube.
yeah,
America.
God bless
1,000,000%.
you. Credit to you.
And the national anthem.
And I went ahead and I watched the national
Mhm.
anthem.
Mhm.
I know it's been 12 years, but he's gained a little weight.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. And on top of that, it just seemed like he was getting a little out of breath toward the end of that national anthem. So I hope he's doing well.
That was a good year for him because that was also the same year that he sang in Omaha.
He
sang at the outdoor game at the Chuck Bank.
I don't know why he should have had his 3 Chicago Blackhawk rings on when he was singing the national anthem yesterday. That would have been an insane flex.
Yeah, but then it would have been a thing like you as a Bears fan would have blamed him for bringing success into Soldier Field.
No, I would have. Do you know how cool? I love the Bears fans that understood the memo that you were supposed to stand up and cheer the entire time.
Oh, it was a great atmosphere. It was a great atmosphere, and then I love that they booed at the end of the game. That was perfect. That was a really good night for you. That was a microcosm of Bears football, and I'm happy to be sitting next to you to experience it all. But you know what? We're going to play week 2 next week.
I can't believe I can't believe they lost the game. It was 17-6.
Well,
and they were kicking that field goal. Actually, it was 17-6, and they were marching.
Well,
down
remember
the field.
you had a pick 6, so credit to JJ. He kind of bucked up after that pick 6 because it looked bleak. I thought you were going to be celebrating. I thought you were going to buy drinks for what's that place in the liftoff or what is it called?
Flight deck.
Flight deck. I was close though.
The landing pad.
I'm wearing their T-shirt.
I know you work there part time.
I don't work there.
Radio.
That's not true.
There are other things about last night and the game of football that we will discuss here on Gary and Matt with Jimmy. Coming up at about an hour now, Sam McKewon will stop by with his thoughts on Akron and Michigan.
He's a Bears fan.
He is a Bears fan. So you two can have a discussion about what happened last night.
I did think about that this morning.
Brian Christopherson stops by at 9. That's the lineup brought to you by the rooferys of John Higgins Weather Guard.
BC will be happy if I'm not
He's a
mistaken.
Vikings fan. He's going to come up. I know exactly
Well,
what he's going to say.
Good morning.
We're
He's
a
like,
fair and balanced radio station, so we got to
he's-
have both sides.
he's going to come on the show and he's going to be like, Mom, actually, I thought they were going to lose that game even before, like a couple of weeks ago. So I'm actually
What
very
voice
happy.
is that?
I'm just saying that's just
Had a
like
little
general
Gilbert
announcer
Gottfried to
voice.
it.
I hope he comes on and brags about being 1-0. It's winning is hard.
Yes, it is. Winning is incredibly
Winning is
difficult.
hard.
Really is.
And no
Never
matter,
apologize for winning and never take it for granted.
you remember when they're paying that guy on the sideline $13 million? You know that? You know that
Ben Johnson?
he's getting paid $13 million.
He's gonna be a good head coach. There is a learning curve of going from being an OC to being a head coach. Okay? Clock management, your message being delivered during the game. Just to have some patience.
I just need someone to explain to me why that wasn't a fumble. Can we just? I just need somebody. NFL referee, former NFL referee,
Viking
just somebody.
Viking fans in my email are saying because it was not a fumble.
Somebody call in and explain to me why the guy having his knee down and the football being in his hand, and then the first thing that was hit was the ball. Is the ball a part of the guy?
Joey writes in to the Equitable Bank inbox. Usually don't get to emails this quick, but this one deserves some attention. He's a Bears fan like you. Our offense sucks. The defense is good. Caleb is trash. But hey, Justin Fields looked good Sunday. That's true. That last part is true.
What, Fields look good Sunday?
I thought so.
And Steelers were probably looking, going, hey, I feel that as well. All right, we are off and running. Lots to discuss because we had some intentional leakage from Nebraska football yesterday. Among other things, when Matt Rule spoke, yes, they're playing Houston Christian. That we will dabble with some chatter about that. But my heart is warmed this week surrounding Nebraska football discussion.
I'm sorry. I'm a curmudgeon right now. I just can't think of anything positive after what happened yesterday.
Hey, that's okay. You know what? You at least didn't give up 40 or more, because nobody that's given up 40 or more in week 1 or in the season has ever gone to the Super Bowl.
And you said
So you're gonna
your
be good.
owner's dead already.
You're going to be good.
I just hope they
You're
win
gonna
a
be
game.
good.
Playoffs.
You're gonna be good.
Playoffs.
You're going to be good.
Mhm.
I just hope they win a game.
You're going to be fine. I'm sure the Bears will release something about a new stadium or turf or concerts today to distract from what happened last night. You just flood the market, let people discuss something else besides the actual result. That's how that works. It's a new thing. I don't know if you've heard. We're off and running. You're always welcome to join the conversation. If you are a Bear fan, if you are a Viking fan, or if you're just a football fan in general, or you'd like to talk about the team that's 2-0 and had a good weekend, 402-951-1620. That's the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. My man is in the dumper. Just one game. So it happened to be on Monday night.
It's not one game.
Yeah.
It's not one game.
By the way, I think the Bills and the Vikings should play every prime time because they play the weirdest games. Just a request that I'm going to throw out there.
I'm good with that.
The same exact thing happened in 2018. They were up 20-0 heading into halftime, and Aaron Rodgers had been knocked out of the game, and everybody was celebrating as if they had won. Like the game was already
like
over.
blood sport. Thought he had it won. Ray Jackson.
I would have much rather them just get their butts whooped and like embarrassed for maybe 3 hours as opposed to what happened yesterday.
Well, that's why football is 60 minutes.
How do you have 12 penalties for 124 yards?
Well,
how is that possible?
Because you are undisciplined.
How are you a pro football team and you have 4 false starts in the first half?
All right, coming up this weekend, Nebraska plays Houston Christian. They used to be known as Houston Baptist. If you go to 1620thezone.com, you can enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Ultimate Blur Tailgate Party. It's going to be an early one, Kegs and Eggs in Lincoln. 11 a.m. kickoff, busy day. Start your day with the Skurs, end your day with Bud. Pretty easy. Go to 1620thezone.com, and you can enter. And good morning to everybody that's on 1620thezone.com or on the YouTube chat. Hello to y'all out there. Whoa, where did I go?
Oh, yeah, you got disconnected at one point.
Whoa, where did I go?
Yeah.
But you're on the.
I thought you just did that for his rant to say, you know what,
No.
you do have the floor.
Wait a minute. I just looked up because I was going to read some fine comments, and I was not there. I may have clicked out. All right, I'm back.
Oh, all right.
Tiger Shark Diver. Hello. Whoa. Yeah, I have the same. I can't read that because I think that's against company policy. But yes, they are. I do. Corporate Dan. They need to let the Chi-Town kids do the national anthem. I'm not familiar with their game.
I don't know who those guys are.
Yeah.
Is that like the Jackie Robinson team that got expelled or banned?
That would not be correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Feng Wei, hello. He said it's time to start playing Bobby Douglas.
Yeah.
I don't get that reference.
He and I went to the same school.
Bobby Douglas used to be quarterback for the Bears back in the day.
Wow.
But my dad was a little.
They had
kid.
a little success back then, right?
Yeah.
Alex Woodlike, you brought this up. I'd like to get to the bottom of it. Good morning, Kevin. The sloppy T-shirt under his pads spilling out everywhere.
It looks so ugly. I don't know why he does it. He's almost like anti-Dylan. Like, because Dylan.
Wow. Whoa. Well, I think that's disrespectful to Dylan. How did Dylan get drawn into a Caleb Williams conversation?
Real quick.
He was just enjoying the show.
No.
Dylan's
2-0.
I want to let you know that
He doesn't play for the Bears.
Bears and Nebraska for the last year have like mirrored each other in terms of just new quarterback, a lot of hype, new coach, really exciting and whatnot. Nebraska has been able to win a close game and turn that into some excitement. The Bears have just done what the Bears always do. When I mean anti-Dylan,
You do not cross over. Okay.
When I mean anti-Dylan, though, Dylan does like some fashion things that are questionable, but like it's he does some questionable fashion.
Joe Burrow,
things,
According to who?
According to me, just looking at him, according to me, just being like, I would never wear that, or like that's an interesting fit. I didn't know that chains and turtlenecks went together.
You're not a professional brand robot.
No, I'm not. And and I look at him and I'm like, all right, well, at least somebody thinks that Dylan might look good. At least somebody looks at him and is like, oh, that's fashion.
I think he looks good when he throws for 394 and he throws a dart for a touchdown.
That last throw.
And people on the field were saying you could hear it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like those
touchdown he
Nerf
threw to make it
balls?
47-0.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear it. I'm like, really? He snapped it that much? And they're like, yeah.
But like Caleb does fashion things that are questionable, but that they're ugly. His nails are ugly. His shirt is ugly. Even his helmet, he's got a weird looking helmet.
Well, you know
too.
what? Look at this.
They didn't say that about Harbaugh.
So here's the
I
thing
get
about
that.
being a quarterback, okay? And quarterbacks are different. They're treated differently.
Mm-hmm.
They're paid differently. If you win, no one cares. If you lose, everyone cares. What would have been the story last night if JJ loses? Why don't you get a haircut? Okay, you can't have sloppy hair like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Tommy Kramer didn't have sloppy.
and for somebody that doesn't have any hair, I kind of appreciate anybody that has some lettuce upstairs.
You have hair.
Yeah, but you know what? I think I'm shaving it.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Not
that's your
before
look.
winter.
No,
Well,
come on. No. That's
so
That'd be a
I'm
CWS
about,
doesn't
I'm about to
bad
go
on
into a
you.
run of 5 straight days of television.
okay.
And so I'm thinking about it. I'll let you know tomorrow.
I think you're fine.
No, I'm thinking about it.
I think you're okay.
Thinking about it.
I think you're okay.
Now, people say that all the time, and I'm like, oh, yeah, but then you're like, hey, hymns.
If you were on Instagram, you would see I get all these hair commercials on Instagram, which I think is just indicative of like the fact that I'm losing my hair. Apparently, there's this gel you can rub on your hair.
Oh, yeah.
And then like it'll grow back.
I'm
or
listening.
something.
Yeah.
Well, I need to get it.
I used to
There's
have
a
a lot
reason
of
why
hair.
I wear a hat every day, which
There's your
I
brain.
wore this hat for the game yesterday, and this Ford hat, and I put it on. And I was like, you know what? This is a good look with my Caleb Williams jersey. I'm
Looks
like,
like where the
maybe this
Lions
is like
play.
my lucky hat. Maybe this is like from here on out. This is like the hat I always wear
What?
for every Bears
I'm
game.
surprised you didn't wear like a Packers hat because it was cool. Cody writes into the Equitable Bank inbox where they take banking personally. Hey, it's just week 1. You're fine.
No, it's not.
It's
not just
yeah.
week 1.
Technically, it is week 1.
No,
now it's
but-
over. Now we're on to
The
week 2.
93
you're
Cowboys lost their
qualifier.
first
You
game.
said
Commanders
just.
Packers play a great game at Lambeau on Thursday night.
They'll be good.
It's not just week 1. It is.
I mean, look
once
at the
again-
division. 2 teams are 1-0. 2 teams are 0-1. It's not like you're out of the divisional race.
Sure, you're only a game back.
Cody writes
That's
in.
been 1 week.
He said, "Good morning." Well, good morning, Cody. At least the Iowa quarterback had more yards than the Bears had penalty yards.
Come on.
Oh, I kind of like this. Let's keep this as a theme this morning. I like this. Can I make a?
I thought he was going to make a Gronowski Caleb Williams comparison.
Speaking of quarterbacks that are in Lincoln, which you have now gone down that path, I think the most tampered with player in the offseason of Nebraska's roster
Okay.
will be TJ Lateef.
Ooh.
I think there will be a lot of schools
I get that.
that will try and reach out to TJ Lateef's people to see if he's interested.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be
Nebraska will have to
Good
take
call.
care of him financially. And I know it was one game, but he kind of performed like we thought he might. But you know how this works is linemen are going to make a lot of money. Offensive linemen. But I think somebody's looking for a quarterback and they're like, hey, you want to sit another year behind Dylan? And then they got his brother coming and they got that Trey Taylor kid. Hey, now from all indications is he knows what the situation is here and he's just learning and he can't wait to ball. But you know that all of that stuff that showed up on tape and the fact that he has thrown for more passing yards than Iowa's $2 million quarterback in 2 games, people will be like, hey, see if anybody knows anybody in California.
You could definitely say that you could make a better argument if you're a team for having him leave as opposed to having him stay.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that wild, though, that at the University of Nebraska, we might be talking about a backup quarterback being tampered with? How good is that feeling?
Oh, incredible that you like have to hold on to your.
Nobody was coming to Patrick O'Brien or Johnny Stanton and going, hey.
Nobody was lining up at Matt Masker's door.
Nobody was saying, hey, I know Tristan Gebbia, at one point you're going to play 7 years in college. Would you like to start your clock now?
Logan Smothers was here for 4 years, and it was only until Jacksonville State was like, hey, do you actually want to play football?
I really would have liked to see Logan Smothers play a little bit more, but there just was not a path to him to play more. I wonder what he would have looked like with a full season.
I wonder what he would have looked like if they actually gave him not just one
he would have
full
been
season.
better. He would have been better than what he showed against Iowa, which is because that was a terrible game.
But no,
plan
I
that
actually
day.
I think it's an interesting conversation of like, let's just remove if you were to have removed Adrian Martinez and you put Logan Smothers in the Adrian Martinez role and he comes in, he plays as a freshman, ends up having 4 full years of football. Like, I'm not saying that Nebraska would have went to a bowl game or Scott Frost would have been around. I'm not making any of those comments. I think it's just an interesting like thought to have had, like how much you're totally right. How much more of a jump would he have taken? Because minus that one time where he didn't scramble the ball against Minnesota for that first down, he actually did show some legitimate flashes, like in the very limited time he came in and played. But, a lot like Caleb, he just loved to tuck it and run it.
Why is everything about the Bears? Nebraska's 2-0. Why do you keep bringing the Bears into the Husker conversation?
Because I love pain. Okay, I love
Nebraska's 2-0. They just won a game that was 68-0.
No, because
they're playing a team who there is a CVS on the other side of their home grandstand, they can't have a visiting grandstand at Houston Christian because the university owns the land. CBS leases the land from the university, and starting at about the 35-yard line to the other 40-yard line, there is a CBS outside of the fence across from the home sideline.
Well, there's not a Walgreens that
If you
far
have
away
a
from Memorial
prescription to
Stadium.
pick up after the game, though.
What's that Walgreens on? 14th and 0? That was a useful sucker back in the day. You'd be walking home from Brothers. It'd be open. You go in, you grab a
drug store that when you're calling the game, you can see the license plates of the cars that are in the drive-through at CVS.
Have you called the game there?
No,
At HCU?
but but I noticed it last year. Nebraska went down and they were part of a satellite camp at Houston Christian.
Oh, okay.
And they were showing pictures, and I was like, "Is that like their main field?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's their stadium." And I was like, "But they don't have any grandstands, visiting grandstands, and isn't that a CVS?" And they're like, "Yeah." So when their lease is up, the university is not going to renew it, and they're going to then build, because they're like trying to make a jump.
Yeah,
they're like trying to make a legit jump, based in Houston, Texas, like
football.
So yes, there is a CVS. Nebraska has never played a team that has a CVS that close to the 50-yard line.
I want to apologize because
we didn't have that at KU.
You're such a seasoned and good broadcaster that I just assume every stadium in America, whether it be basketball or football, that you probably have broadcasted there.
No, the only one that I've been to is where Sam Houston State plays, and that's really a unique stadium. It's kind of a down in a bowl.
Yeah.
It's really a nice place.
I gotta look
they
at this.
love Sam Houston Athletics down there. Only thing is when you drive from Houston to Sam Houston to go to a game, you drive by this humongous prison.
Was it a little unsettling for you?
Well, yeah. You know how like you're on back roads and they've got the picture of the deer leaping?
Yeah.
Watch out for the deer?
Yeah.
They had like a picture of an inmate.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, that's gotta be a joke.
And then they have a big
and somebody
Sam
said
Houston.
no, because people try and escape and they want you to be on the lookout for like an inmate running across the highway.
I'm pretty sure Buford High School has a more expensive, better stadium than Houston Christian, looking at the pictures right
For now.
I'm pretty sure they have a nicer place than Akron.
I'm still pissed off at Albert Brewer. What a terrible tweet by him, being like, "Oh, I can't believe the Bears aren't going to be playing outdoors." You try going to Soldier Field, Albert.
Bears will just be soft. That's okay.
No, we want to host a WrestleMania. That's what.
That has nothing to do with the Bears.
They're going to Saudi Arabia. here and forever. WrestleMania overseas.
All right. Coming up in the next hour, Sam McKewon stops by. And when we return, I'm going to tell you all how many of you got arrested on Saturday night in Lincoln and how many beers you drank. That's coming up next on Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome in. Hour number 2. Last night, week number 1 of the NFL came to a conclusion. The Vikings rallied to beat the Bears. Divisional game at Soldier Field in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, everybody had to walk 1.5 miles back to their cars after that game. And
I actually wonder what it was like.
Yeah, and you're telling me that they shouldn't be playing in a new stadium.
Ooh, I don't know about that. We'll save that for a little bit later. That's yeah. Well, I got some thoughts on putting out a stadium letter before your home opener
Because they thought it was going to be a coronation. Okay,
well,
they
seemed to be a distraction.
They convinced themselves that they were going to win that game by so many points that they thought it was a great time to make this awesome announcement.
Andrew writes in, he tweets in, I beg your pardon, at Gary Sharp 1620. Only the Bears would get a generational talent that can't hit wide open guys after the first drive. Thoughts?
No, I mean, I don't think Andrew's wrong. I mean, he clearly missed DJ Moore on the 4th and 2.
Can we, this isn't an Andrew thing. Can we retire I'm a little bit stiff this morning. I got to loosen that puppy up. Can we retire the generational phrase? Like Arch Manning.
Sure.
Arch Manning did not play against the best of the best when he was growing up in New Orleans. Now, he is the most hyped recruit maybe ever. But can we stop with generational?
Well, generational has become the new elite, right? Like elite used to be a massive word that if you were elite, you were elite. Yeah. It was a big deal. But then PJ Fleck, along with a lot of just other people, just completely ruined that term. And now it's almost like when we talk about fusion in cooking, right? Like we talk like, the term. Yeah,
that's a big one.
Another, Jimmy, very good job. Umami is another one. We overuse the term. Generational is getting there. But I mean, I think some guys you can still call generational.
So it's the meaning is once in a generation. They're exceptional talent. But I mean, we love to do that with high school to college quarterbacks. Generational talent.
But he was generational.
Hey, sorry, Trey Taylor. I've already seen that written about you. Good luck.
Somebody already called him generational?
Yes, which is unfair. I mean, we very, very, and this is a media thing. This is the media thing that we love to throw generational on players. Hey, once in a generation, Arch Manning. Again, you are not dubbed that, you become that.
Well, we
took Arch Manning.
Sure.
If you go back and people that are in the state of Louisiana that watched him play in high school were like, he was playing the equivalent of Class C football in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
I mean, his name on the back of his jersey goes a long way, and who knows what he's going to be like, but he was immediately generational.
Yeah. I see. I'll push back on
Patrick Mahomes was not called generational until he acquired the label playing in the NFL.
See, but I will, and this is not me being a Bears honk, but Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes being as successful as he was and playing the style that he did, nobody has played that style more effectively until Caleb Williams played that style more effectively at USC and won a Heisman Trophy. Okay. So he goes ahead and he plays that style that we are like, oh my God, that's the style that now wins. Because he played that way, we rightfully called him a generational talent. Okay. But he's not a generational football player because he's too much of a wuss to stand in the pocket and take a hit.
Are you going to burn your 18 jersey? You seem like it right now. You're a little agitated.
You know what? Can he just stand in the pocket?
Was that Mike Tomczak's number?
Can he just be a football player? Like, I respect the hell out of Dylan because Dylan has been standing in that pocket and he's been taking these hits because they're very similar. They're very similar.
No, we need to stop. What are we doing this morning?
They're very similar. Caleb and Patrick, or Caleb and Caleb. Caleb and Dylan. I can't even speak.
Wow. Do not, because your team lost last night, do not be pushing off your angst on your team on the team that we like to talk about and is 2-0, and they just won 68-0. And they play the CVS Houston Christian team this weekend.
I used to be him.
Yeah.
Caleb played a style of football in college that was just, you were like, oh my God, how can this fail? And then he got drafted by the team that always
It's
just
1
seems
week.
to fail.
It's not, I mean, I'm sure he'll start more games. I mean, he started now, 18 games in his NFL career?
I think they
Did you
should
have
bring
him
in
going
Bajan on the
17-0?
short yardage situations. Maybe just bring in on like 3rd and 2s and 4th and 2s, just bring in Bajan, because as long as Tyson doesn't have to throw the ball down the field, he's actually a really good quarterback.
Just imagine if he had Kevin O'Connell as his head coach.
Well, apparently he's got the second coming of Kevin O'Connell as his head coach right now.
It's one game.
Dennis Allen
Wow.
got coach circles around in the 4th quarter. Reason his ass got fired.
I also think Brian Flores' defense was pretty good after that opening drive.
He is
I know
good.
the
Gruden
fact that
likes
he wasn't showing his cards in the
No.
first half.
Okay.
He was waiting. He was waiting to show all those blitzes.
All right, so Adam texted, and I'm in agreement here about the word generational. And this is we haven't had this word used in football in a while, and like in college football until Art showed up. He said, "Amen." Religious.
Notre Dame and A&M this weekend.
I actually
That's a
do
big
think
game.
that Adam is a Notre Dame fan, but I don't think that has anything to do with religion. I think he just likes Notre Dame football.
Did you
Marcus
see the
Freeman,
line for
dude.
the South Florida Miami game?
Yeah.
15.5.
How about South Florida's run of who they would beat if they won this weekend?
They would,
Yeah.
if they beat Miami this weekend, they would be a top 10 team. They have to be a top 10 team.
Learn playoff. Generational talent gets overused. It should be reserved for a select few. Tiger, Michael, LeBron, and it's earned over time, not right out of the gate. I agree.
Muhammad Ali would be there.
Yes.
Floyd Mayweather.
He was the greatest.
Floyd Mayweather.
We would say that if Bud Crawford was a heavyweight.
Oh,
We probably should say that, but not everybody will say it because he's not a heavyweight.
see. Okay,
He's
here's
about ready to win another title at 168 Saturday night before 65K on your Netflix at the Roomba in Vegas.
here's an interesting conversation about
Boy,
the
he
word
looked-
generational.
He looked dialed in yesterday outside of the Bellagio.
I'm
He
excited.
wouldn't even look at Canelo.
I'm staying up.
Winning
I
a
never
He was
stay
staring at Dana
is he
going,
staying at the Bellagio? That's good
No.
vibes.
no, I don't know where they're staying. I'm sure
Okay.
they're staying
Ask
outside.
George Brett
of-
about the
I'm sure they're
Bellagio.
staying at a compound, but they had a photo op outside of the Bellagio last night. I don't think he looked at Canelo. He just stared and went, what in the world is Dana White doing here?
So, Simone Biles. Somebody put in Simone Biles. That's
Okay.
a great one. But
Hmm?
her husband actually made a great play.
Yeah, he did
yesterday.
last night.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm,
plays for the
you know what? I'm
Bears,
surprised
yeah.
that Joe Buck did not drop that in there after Owens made the play.
You know, it's been overused so many times. I still can't believe she showed up to Soldier Field with the Packers coat on because she was supporting her husband. Just go to the team store and buy a jersey, Simone.
Why didn't the Bears have
You
it
got
ready
enough
for
money
her?
to
They don't
do
pay Olympians enough when they win gold, so she's probably struggling a little bit.
They probably pay that Olympian enough. She's on everything. She's on a Wheaties. She's
That's
on
why.
Oprah. She's on. I mean, she's everywhere. I'm saying.
Tried
by
to
the
get her
way,
to the zone.
So you talk about if Bud was a heavyweight, we would call him generational.
But if Bud was a heavyweight, an
Yeah.
American heavyweight as dominating as he is, we would have more attention towards boxing.
So
We need an American heavyweight.
this is a great caveat to the generational conversation. You could say though that Bud Crawford is like a generational Nebraska talent. Like within the
Well,
state of within the
Outside
state
of
of
old Dickie Ryan, there really has not been anybody that has gotten that acclaim around here.
yeah, but I don't know.
Google it.
Okay.
You probably have met him at the College World Series.
It's just one like you could say like he's a generational like just
Yeah.
from his
Yeah.
state, from his hometown. Bud Crawford, generational talent.
All right. Sam McKewon of the World Herald is going to join us here in about 30 minutes. So you're wondering when you went to the game on Saturday night in Lincoln with all of the angst over the beer lines, they had a big discussion in Lincoln yesterday. Like people are responding to the survey.
Oh,
Hey, that survey, I went back and looked. That survey was in my inbox like in the morning. So
Did you-
good on them for, it was probably already planned. Like they're okay, let's see first game. Let's see how this all went. What do you guys think the amount of beers and seltzers?
why are you shaking your head after seltzers? You don't like seltzers?
I went to a football game and my buddy,
Hey, they'll
sit
get
next
you
to me.
there.
and he was drinking a seltzer. I'd be like, that's the last time I take you to a football game.
That
on.
actually
Don't do
surprises
this-
me.
don't
You
do
take
this
better
toxic
care of yourself
masculinity
now.
Thing.
I ain't drinking a seltzer.
What do you mean?
Less
Seltzers
sugar?
are good.
It'll get you tipsy,
Okay,
as
so that's-
Jaquan once
I'm
said.
not,
Jimmy-
looking,
Jimmy
I'm
brings
not
up-
looking to get tipsy, okay? That was when I was 20, 21. I drank to get drunk, and I never got drunk. I've never been drunk in my life. The closest I've ever been is when I turned 21, I couldn't get my shoes off. It was like water to me.
It'll get you
It
drunk.
was a bad time. It was a bad time. I'm not looking to get drunk,
You
okay?
haven't-
But I'm not going to a football game to drink a seltzer, or if I am, I'm going to hide it. I'm going to keep my coat. I'm like,
Oh,
What if your buddy's trying to lose some weight? What if
Yeah.
he's trying not to drink those carbs?
low sugar so that you can have an
Why-
extra slice of
Why?
pizza?
Why were you?
we're at a
were-
football game.
What do you mean? What does
We're
that
at a
even
football
mean?
game.
What does that even mean?
If you are a different sex, I'm okay with it.
Why?
You're
okay,
a dude
This is
at a
this is
football game
ridiculous.
drinking a seltzer.
It's
not going to happen.
It's just 2025. All right, you should be able to drink whatever the hell you want, whatever the hell you want
Not
to
at a
drink.
football game. If we're at the beach or we're at Lenoma, we're hanging out. Seltzer is fine. A football game, I'm not going to sit next to somebody drinking a seltzer. I'm
That
pounding.
is so
I'm-
toxic.
I'm pounding leaded Budweisers, and you're like, ooh, high noon.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a
Once
first
it
off.
hits your lips,
That's not a seltzer.
ooh.
That's a mixed vodka.
Hey, that'll
drink,
mess
all right?
you
That's
up
no
after.
different than
Okay.
going to the stand.
So,
wait, if your buddy goes to a Nebraska basketball game and goes to one of those liquor tents and he gets a vodka soda, what would you say to him?
good on you.
Yeah, there's
like
nothing
brown.
different.
I like black.
There's nothing different than when you have a seltzer at a game.
Oh, get out of here. Seltzer is different. Like if you're going vodka, just get a vodka. Why do you got to get a seltzer?
That's basically what it's. I mean, High Noon is a vodka soda. Is a
I don't
fancy.
think I don't
vodka
think they
soda.
sell High Noon in Lincoln anyhow. No, we're not drinking
You're
seltzers.
saying you, by the way, that you get more
All right,
drunk
hey,
quicker.
hey,
You
I-
get drunk
no, no.
way quicker.
I go
off
to
of seltzers.
I go to the
Way
U.S.
quicker.
Open.
Also
So-
low sugar.
I go to
Yes.
the U.S. Open. Seltzers are acceptable. I go to a football game. We're not pounding. Hey, let's drink. Let's just get crazy with seltzers. If I'm going to go in, I'm going hard. Okay, I'm not going soft. I'm hard.
What about our type 1 and type 2 diabetes friends who, maybe don't want to have a beer? They want to have a low.
They don't have
sugar
to have a
seltzer.
beer.
They
You can
want
sti-
beer.
You can
but they
still go to the
can't.
football
They
game.
can't have it.
You can still go to the football game. Okay. So, beers and seltzers. What do you think the number was from Saturday night that were sold?
101,000.
Jimmy?
I'm gonna go 114,500. Drew.
Gary goes, I'll take 1 cent.
Remember my 6 weeks.
39,000.
What?
39,000.
Really?
Damn,
Mhm.
1 cent wins.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you like for all of the pro clutchers out there, like, oh my God, it's just going to be pandemonium. There's going to be raping and pillaging of Lincoln because people are drinking in Memorial Stadium. Would you like to know how many alcohol-related incidents LPD responded? I think it's LPD and UNL police combined
Total?
responded to.
Okay.
No, this might be UNLPD. No, I want to get it broader. I think it's both of them.
Okay.
So the average last year was 17 per game.
Okay.
Remember, we're drinking
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and we're 2-0
Yeah.
and it's 68-0.
Oh yeah. They're back.
18. Because I think there had to be one. There had to be one guy
I'm gonna go with
or one gal.
9.
Good call. 14.
Really, it was less.
Hey, we are football. We just want our football. Okay. When the football is good, we drink less. When the football is bad, we got to drink to forget about the bad football. That's the moral of the story here.
There is some truth to
I would
this.
love to know that number of alcohol-related incidents during a football game. I would love to know that number differentiated between wins and losses. Like, is there a home and
I don't
away
know.
record?
Probably could ask about that.
Is it more on away on losses than it is wins, or is it more on wins than it is losses?
Would that be a Keith thing?
No, this is from operations.
Keith?
Keith could care less. Okay. As long as nobody is drinking in the press box, Keith could care less.
Can you imagine if during halftime he sent like a stat like, hey, only 6 people got arrested for alcohol-related incidents in the first half between Akron and Nebraska. That's the lowest amount
Hey,
since 2011.
The closest I've ever thought that somebody sitting in the press box was drunk was somebody who had a nice career at Nebraska.
Really?
They were hammered. They were hammered. People think Coach Darlington is drunk.
No,
It's not the case
No way.
because he has no filter. And so he speaks very loud so everybody can hear him. But he's actually kind of funny. When Frost was coaching here, they ran a bad punt. And he goes, "Up, he's going to get fired." Super loud. And people are like, "Oh, wow. Coach D is Baltimore." All right, I believe this is about your Bears. Let's talk to John on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, John.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
What can we do?
So, Matt, you're not alone with stupid coaching, terrible team, but I think the Bears have a chance. But the Titans do not have a chance. Been a fan since the Houston Oilers days, and I think it just got as low as it could get.
Hey, John.
The Brian Callahan not knowing the rules.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
You want to trade quarterbacks?
Probably, yeah.
Whoa.
You think there's some upside to Cam Ward?
I think there's a ton of upside to Cam Ward. I love Cam Ward personally. This is not a reflection, by the way. I don't ask you the question because I'm fully out on Caleb. All jokes aside, all seriousness, let me dial in for 2 seconds. I do like Caleb. I think Caleb's going to be a good quarterback, but I love your quarterback. I think your quarterback's going to be a stud.
Well, they put him in some positions yesterday that you're up 6-3 in a game you probably had no chance.
Sure. That's a good point.
And you're on your 6-yard line in the 48 seconds to go in the second quarter, and Denver has one timeout. So what do? You throw 2 incompletions, give the ball back to Denver so that they can score a touchdown, take the lead at halftime.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think
tough.
Sean Payton had a good game either. So the door was open, but I think Cam Ward's going to be fine for you. That's a good pick. I don't know that Brian Callahan is the right guy for Cam Ward.
See, that's the point.
Too many Callahans on that squad.
Yeah.
Too many.
John, thanks for the phone call. That make you feel better?
No, it's the Titans. They suck. They got the number 1 overall pick.
But it's supposed to make you feel better.
Nothing is going.
I don't know if
Josh Otson, Titans fan.
Hey, I don't know if you recall, but the year before you had the number 1 overall pick.
Well, that was because of the Panthers, not because of us.
Hey, the Titans played. Okay, so I'm glad that the Broncos won because that was my survivor pick.
Ooh,
I know.
that's right.
Defensively, the Titans weren't bad.
They were in the game.
I mean, it's the first start in the NFL, so they didn't get enough from Cam Ward, and that's a tough place to open your career. But I think nobody talks about him. They talk more about a third-string quarterback in Cleveland. I think that's going to work out, but I don't know that the head. You got to the head coach and the quarterback have to be a combo, and they may not be the right fit.
They're gonna end up doing the same exact thing that the Bears. Watch Cliff Kingsbury end up being the next Tennessee Titans head coach, and then they're freaking out about, oh my God, you finally got an offensive head coach.
Tennessee is better than New Orleans. They don't wear Pop Warner football uniforms.
Those were bad.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now, John. Bad. You wait until Kingsbury's your head coach, and everyone's going to be so excited, and they're going to tell you that your offense is going to be great, and he's going to take this massive step or whatever, and then you end up blowing the first game of the season at home.
New stadium.
Hey, at least next week you got Northwestern hosting Oregon, and you got the Bears going to the Lions. That'd be a good weekend for you.
Why is that big noon kickoff? Why is that a big noon kickoff game? I still don't understand.
The slate ain't great. I mean, you expect Iowa, UMass?
I would rather watch that than the Northwestern get their.
I want to watch Oregon play. See that freshman wide receiver? You see Dante Moore?
They beat the Leathernecks. That'd probably be their only win of the season.
They almost closed Western Illinois not too long ago, like the whole school.
Really?
You got some financial issues with your school education in Illinois.
Yes.
In terms of financing.
Well, no joke. I went to Nebraska for many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons was it was actually cheaper to go to Nebraska out of state than it was to go to Illinois in state.
Not a surprise. That's what a lot of people are saying. They come to the Harvard of the Midwest. All right, 21 past the hour. Sam McKewon's coming up in this hour. Lots to discuss from Akron, and we'll dabble a little bit in Houston Christian.
Did you watch the tape for us? I ain't watching Houston Christian tape.
I think it will be a more competitive first half.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about that. That's interesting.
Also, a little bit later, Brian Christopherson on Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. Hey, if you've had some storm damage or some just wear and tear with your roof, and you're doing your research and you're wondering, okay, I hear so many different roofing companies in Omaha. Where do I want to go with my top choice? Where do I want to get quotes from? Where do I end up choosing who is doing my job? Well, I'm here to tell you Moose Roofing is the only place to go. You'll get quotes and they'll all look the same, but why is Moose Roofing different? Communication, expert analysis, also word of mouth. And they're here before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. They've been in business for nearly 30 years. They're responsive. I mentioned communication from start to finish. That is Pat Moose, the owner. That is one of the top things that they must do. They'll send a guy, fantastic project manager, by the way, Tanner. He'll come out. You know what? They'll work with you. They'll sit down. They'll get on your roof. They'll get in your attic. They'll take pictures. They'll take video. They will go to work with your insurance company so you get everything you want. Because some people tell me, Gary, man, when you got to do your roof, you got to deal with your insurance company. And that piece, nope, that's what Moose Roofing does. They have an entire department that is geared up for that. So they'll replace your roof. They'll clean it up all at the same time. Work is top notch. So you'll do yourself a disservice if you don't consider Moose Roofing, because once you schedule an inspection, you sit down with Moose Roofing, you know that Moose Roofing will be taking care of your most valuable asset, your home. For more information and to schedule that inspection, go to the website today, mooseroofing.com. All right, welcome back in, Gary and Matt. Jimmy on a Tuesday morning, going up on a Tuesday. All right, Bear Down Misery Talk continues. I kid because I care. Sam McKewon of the Omaha World Herald, along with Matt, diehard Bears fan, the morning after the week 1 week has come to an end. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine, but we're all in the club 0-1 with our NFL teams. If you and Matt would like to discuss last night, go.
I'm doing terrible. But you're
Just cut right to the chase.
No, I'm doing terrible. But Sam, you're one of the smarter guys that I've met in this industry. My first question to you is can you just give me something positive? just something that you thought and you saw and you're like, you know what, that could be fixable, or that's pretty nice, or maybe you saw none of that.
Torrey Taylor punted him pretty well.
Yeah, he did.
No, I mean, you're missing your top 2 defensive backs, and you got a 17-6 lead. Again, like, I've been a Bears fan my whole life, and so at this point, I'm really pragmatic about what they are and what they aren't. You know, I'm of the belief that you know, they've been deficient on offense for a long time, and they're trying. And you know, they put 24 on the board last night against a really good defense. It's frustrating to lose a lead the way they did and have the Vikings score 21 straight. But, you know, I wasn't going into last night having any sort of grand expectations. So, you know, they're going to have to get better in a hurry, though. Like, the NFC North has been good now for 3 years. You could always kind of count on the Bears stealing one from the Lions and the Lions stealing one from the Bears. But, you know, you never knew going into any given year whether they were going to take one from the Packers or the Vikings. And so, like, you have to be all in. All the teams in the franchise, all the teams in the division now are all in. And so, you know, that means Caleb Williams has got to play his very best. And I think he's a competitive guy who's got a lot of talent, who just needs to continue to kind of grow and grow up.
Yeah.
And hopefully Ben Johnson's able to get him there. That's kind of the hope. But what I don't want to see happen is, I do think Caleb Williams will figure it out. I do. I just hope he doesn't do that in his 5th year when he's on his second team. Because there's been quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield who don't quite figure it out right away, but then when they do and they stop acting kind of immature, they're pretty darn good. And I think that's where Caleb Williams is going to be. I hope he figures it out this year versus year 6, the way Baker Mayfield did.
Let's talk about the team in Lincoln. So Saturday will be kind of a little tricky. It might be bring your own energy game. It's 11 a.m. It's not against a brand. Mm-hmm. You just won 68-0. Everybody has framed every conversation since the game ended Saturday night, hell, even before that, of revolving around Michigan. But looking at Houston Christian, and they are what they are, what is there to gain from playing Houston Christian coming off Akron on Saturday morning?
I think just an opportunity for more young guys to play and develop. This is a really young team. That's the primary thing. I think I don't know that Rule's necessarily going to go there on Thursday. There is an argument to be made that, you know, going forward, the value of playing an FCS team is going to be iffy, and for 2 reasons. One, you're either going to play a Missouri Valley or a Big Sky team that's pretty darn good and might give you more heartburn than you want, or B, you're going to play a team like Houston Christian that's probably overmatched and does very little for your strength of record. Mm-hmm. And I think going forward, you're going to see the committee spend a lot more time on who did you play and not did you get a W. And so I think that's something that going forward, you're going to really closely examine. Now, Nebraska plays South Dakota State, I think, here in a couple of years, maybe USD, but yeah, that's what I would say is that it's probably time to examine whether you want to play all those games or not. And if you're going to play them, I think the Big Sky and Missouri Valley is the place to go. But you got to be careful, because every so often that team will come up and bite you, and they'll beat you. Mm-hmm. And you never want that. That's the worst of all worlds. So I think that's probably the thing that's lingering on their minds. But otherwise, they can grow and rack up a bunch of stats and continue to work on the killer instinct that Matt Rule talked about at halftime of the Akron game, and then again talked about on Monday.
You look at a guy like Kurt Cignetti, where he brings, that fire on the sideline and in the locker room, but he's not good at a podium, right? I mean, he ruffles a lot of feathers. And then you look at a guy like Kalen DeBoer, who he's great on a podium, but one of the biggest knocks against him is, he should be more fiery on the sideline. He should be more motivated, with his players. Do you think Matt Rule is kind of that perfect mix of, hey, really good on the podium, can be a good example for Nebraska on the national standpoint, but then, he kind of turns into that Dan Hurley, just win, baby?
He's a good blend for Nebraska. Absolutely. Yep. I think he's a really good fit for this place. I think one of the things that I've recognized about Nebraskans, having lived here my whole life, is that Nebraskans are pretty mild-mannered people, but they actually want somebody in that coaching position to be kind of fiery, to articulate the feelings that they have and to fight for them and to stump for them and to openly appear to like being here and enjoying being here. And so the things that Nebraskans won't always say it, but they like that Matt Rule likes Bud Crawford, and they like that Matt Rule likes to eat at restaurants in Omaha and Lincoln. And he understands that. I think he's never going to say it just the way I just said it, but I think he understands that what Nebraskans want isn't just a coach, but somebody who appears to really like the place and fights for it. And Nebraskans love that he, sometimes takes a dig at the officials. I do think he understands that hasn't always helped him. And that may change a little bit this year, but I know that Nebraska fans liked when he said what he said in the Illinois and Michigan State games back in 23. And so he's a good fit for this place. And so I've always said, it's about fit, and he's a fit.
So part of, and now it's, Will was probably said, hey, you have this, can you release it because of your forum, the halftime speech that Rule alluded to earlier in the day. So it all kind of lines up. That's for a different story. But there's the discussion, and this isn't new. Rule has talked about developing the killer instinct. Sam, did we get a little inkling of, because I think it begins at the top, a little inkling when it's 40-0 Saturday night and out comes Dillon and the number one offense again, up 40-0?
Yeah. I think we did. I've actually always thought Rule was the kind of guy that really didn't care that much about running it up. And I'm not saying he was running it up. I mean, at some point, if they can't stop a slice play, they can't stop it. And it's a basic run play. So, I've always kind of felt like, he doesn't want to do that to teams, but they were throwing the ball up 54-0 or whatever, and so they're playing football. James Franklin likes to say, and I know I'm changing coaches here, but he likes to say these guys have worked all year long in practice, these second, third, and stringers, and what we owe to them is when they go into the game, they get to play, quote, they get to play football. And he's like, football isn't, running one play over and over again and then punting. Football is football. You get to throw it. You get to run it. You get to do some of the things that the starters get to do. And so I do appreciate that Matt Rule is open to letting his guys play football. And they did. They played. I mean, they weren't throwing it deep, but they were doing some of the things they like to do and running around. And so, I do think it's a little bit different mindset. And I appreciate that they were willing to let Dillon get a couple of drives in the second half. I don't see why he shouldn't get that. My line of demarcation is usually the fourth quarter. You know what? Whatever happens in the first three quarters happens. But they actually took him out, I think, early, midway through the third. So I thought now there's circumstances, I think, when you're playing it could be with Houston Christian. If it's 47-0, maybe they just go ahead and bring all the backups in and just call it, and go to something a little bit different. With some of these FCS teams, they don't have the depth, they don't have whatever, and so you may see that on Saturday, or you may see Houston Christian, frankly, outplay Akron. I think they will. I think Houston Christian will probably keep the game closer than Akron did.
I do too.
you're an AP poll voter. I respect your AP polls, by the way, because you could tell that you actually watch the games compared to maybe some of these guys who just, rank and just go with kind of the flow of everything. Your takeaway, because unfortunately we're kind of in this little purgatory of the season where you're waiting until Michigan and you're really not going to fully know what Nebraska is until they play Michigan. Your just takeaways from the Michigan-Oklahoma game. And I do want to mention you don't have Michigan ranked currently on your AP poll.
No, I didn't have them ranked last week either. I think Michigan's got, first of all, I commend Sharon Moore for trying to do something a little bit different with their offense. What he's trying to do is honestly not all that different from what Wisconsin was trying to do a couple of years ago. It didn't work. And it didn't work for certain reasons that I don't know are entirely about Luke Bickle or the coach they had at the time, who I think is doing quite well right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Down, I think at Texas State. I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah. So Wisconsin's issues were much deeper than that coordinator. But Moore's trying to get this thing to a place where it doesn't take a saint like J.J. McCarthy, who's willing to basically, I won't do anything that I want to do just so I can win games. And that's kind of what McCarthy was doing there. You're not really going to attract quarterbacks that way. And you're just not. And McCarthy was an exception. And so you can't keep Bryce Underwood, throwing 16 times a game. And so they're trying. And it's probably going to take them some time. They hired North Carolina's offensive coordinator, who had a real nice year last year with North Carolina, and helped develop Drake May after the guy went to from North Carolina, Wisconsin. And so it's going to take them some time. They're doing some no huddle. Their offense has hit a few big runs. They still are able to get into 12 and 13 personnel. I think Oklahoma's a really good team. I don't take any distinct pleasure in saying that. I've never been like some sort of Oklahoma homer. But they're good. Oklahoma's good, and they have a good quarterback, and they solved that problem, and their defense is very good, and they're going to be a college football playoff contender all season long. And so Michigan, I thought, played pretty well, but I don't think they look as good as Nebraska right now, and I think some of that's because their quarterback is going into his third game, whereas Raiola is going into his 16th, and I think Raiola is just simply ahead of where Bryce Underwood is. And kudos to Matt Rule for hiring Holgorsen last season and getting this thing underway so that they're not having to work these kinks out now. They're all on the same page. And so I think Nebraska's ahead of where Michigan is currently.
And by the way, 112 points in the 2 home games that Dana's been the play caller. I also I think one thing that is their first 2 games is noticeable. Michigan's offensive line has to be better. They just can't run the ball at will.
Right.
And that's something that usually Michigan hangs their hat on. Let's shift back to Nebraska, and we got plenty to talk about before we get to kickoff at 2:30 next Saturday. But special teams and winning the margins and little details. Is it just Mike Eckler, or is there something you notice the way they approach special teams with who they have returning, who they have kicking, that we've gone 2 straight weeks and special teams are actually kind of relaxing? Sam, we're not fretting over it. Why?
Right. Well, I think they were really aggressive in the offseason in pursuing the kind of specialists that they felt like they needed, right? So, it's not every special teams coordinator who comes in and says, okay, we need to get a different punter. We need to go out and get a kicker. The kicker is currently at a different school. I know that we have 2 kickers on our team, but they've both been injured and we can't count on them. So we're going to go, he's been very aggressive. And I think you tip your hat to him and going out and getting what he wanted. And I think committing Nebraska to those changes. I think that was one of the things that Matt Rule had to work through. Is I think Eckler was very honest about here's what we need to do. And Rule had to chew through, okay, do I basically want to tell this punter that he's not probably going to play for us because we're going after a rugby punter and all these other things. And so Rule was willing to do it. And I think Eckler has paid that off by, the quality of effort that they're giving on a lot of the special teams, especially on punt return. They're doing a really, really good job. The Gunners are. And so, his energy is helpful. And I think the way he coaches fits today's kid. I think 15 years ago, he fit some of the guys. He almost had too much energy, but now he has just the right amount.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these guys really like him, and they're going to respond to him positively. They may wonder why he has all that energy, but I think they're responding to him in a way that's going to be infectious, and it's going to make that unit better.
No, I agree with that. And I also think, too, you go back and you look at that tape, I do think there's some meat left on that bone when it comes to the kickoff returns. It seems like the blocking is really good. And Kenneth Williams, he has done a okay job, but definitely seems like he can get some more yards in the future. I want to ask you about maybe a plethora of young players. I watch Donovan Jones and I watch Vincent Shavers, and I see those guys, and Rex Guthrie too, see those guys play, and they are Rule guys. They were brought in by Matt Rule. They've been coached only by Matt Rule, and they go ahead and they hit hard, and it's controlled chaos. What do you think that says about that coaching staff and just Rule in general, that the guys that they didn't necessarily inherit, they just kind of play with this aggressive physicality on the defensive end?
I think some of it is the way that they scout and what they're looking for in players. They're also measurables. So, like Rex Guthrie is a really fast guy, and Donovan Jones is a really fast guy, and Shavers plays really fast. I don't know what his 40 is, but he plays fast and he hits hard. And so they're looking for certain traits, I think, and what the kinds of players they want, the kinds of athletes they want. And some of these guys are overlooked. Donovan Jones was overlooked, and Guthrie didn't really even get recruited by Colorado, and Colorado should have recruited him. I think as Deion goes on in his time at CU, he's going to recruit more and more from the high schools there, because he's going to get tired of the transfers. He's going to get tired of having to sell these guys that just got there 30 or 40 transfers a year on his vision. He's going to just want to recruit people that learn it when they're 18 and drink it all in. So, he's getting there out in Colorado, but in the meantime, Nebraska should try to get every good player they can from there, because obviously those players are being ignored by the in-state school, and Guthrie's one of those players. And so it's not just him, it's Caleb Benning, it's some of these young corners, Amari Sanders, Jeremiah Charles. They've been able to find players that I think, fit their young vibe, and they're going to be good on defense for years to come.
Yes, they will.
I still think you got to find a couple of, great pass rushers. And you have to recruit those. Usually if you're signing them, you're paying, $1.5 million, but, they still got to get better at the pass rushing, but I think they've got a lot of good defensive players in the system right now.
Yeah, they are young. Find yourself a couple more linebackers as well. Sam, as always, we appreciate it. We'll see you bright and early on Saturday morning.
Hey, great. Take care.
Sounds excited for an 11 a.m. kick. Going to bring your own energy game against an FCS opponent. Probably some newbies that'll be in the stadium. They'll bring the energy.
Oh, big time.
But it's 11 a.m. after playing back-to-back night games.
Oh, you think that's going to have an effect on them?
You can't overlook it. You're playing at 11. You played back-to-back, pretty emotional, high-intensity crowd-wise. Now all of a sudden you're 11 a.m. You're like, whoa.
Did you see that Michigan State's playing at 11 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, we'll discuss, because I think at some point you just say enough is enough. But that's what happens. You get 11 a.m. kick or 11 p.m. kickoffs locally when you chase the almighty dollar.
That's essentially what it's at.
All right, quick break. We'll come back. We'll get some information about Will Compton next on 1620 The Zone.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long, and you can play right now in Nebraska. It's easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, more, even field goals attempted. The Bears let me down last night with that too. Anyway, I get it. Get your picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1 this week on Underdog. Well, I guess I finally looked at the Cowboys play the Giants. That should be a terrible game. We're going to pick some lowers, maybe. Dak might actually come back. Just when you think you're done, they're going to suck you right back in. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ZONE to score $50 in bonus funds. When you play your first $5, that's promo code ZONE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. You can start with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit ncpgambling.org.
I have a thought.
You have many.
I'll share it. Just this song popped something into my head. It's about Bud Crawford. I'll save it for the next hour. But I want to tell you that Bussin' with the Boys are bringing their podcast to Lincoln Friday night, September 19th at the Rococo Theater in Lincoln. Went on a date there to go see
Prince?
No.
Aerosmith?
No.
Pearl Jam?
Rascal Flatts.
That's
back
a
in the
good
day.
one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You told me you'd gone to some good country
That's
concerts.
a very good
yeah.
one.
Cocoa Theater.
I
I
don't
saw
think
Rascal
that's bad
Flatts
at
there.
all.
You can go see Bussin' with the Boys, Mr. Compton, Mr. Luan. 1620 The Zone has your way into the show for free. All you got to do is listen to the Connor Happer Show, which will be out at Warner Park today, every day this week, for a chance to win a pair of tickets. More details online at 1620thezone.com. Speaking of Will Compton, so there is a video that is out there that has gone viral nationally of Rule's comments at halftime when Nebraska's up 33-0. I would like to know the backstory because Will Compton was the first to put it out. When he was asked to leak it, because remember, Matt Rule does nothing without intention. And so they filmed it and let somebody put it out there so it doesn't come from Nebraska's account or Matt Rule. And then with Will's large audience, it just grows and grows and grows, and people are like, that's my coach.
Is it really that bad of a look if like the Nebraska football account were to tweet that out? You think so?
Maybe not a bad look, but it's a smart play to send it to Will or whoever did it, to send it to Will and say, hey, look at this. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, you get more.
You know what to do. Rule never does anything without there's a meaning behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I don't think he said, hey, I'm going to have this speech and then we're going to send it out. I think he meant that. Sometimes he embellishes things, and I think sometimes he likes the camera, and he's kind of sometimes they try too harder.
Big time.
But I think in this case that was real, and they film everything at halftime. And so they're like, get it to Will. Will's got this huge audience. Will's our guy. It'll spread, and it has spread. I don't think it's not a negative about Nebraska.
Sure.
It's just the smart play of it's a Tuesday ahead of a Houston Christian game that isn't going to get any run, and people are talking about Nebraska football.
So I like that.
Man knows how to move the brand. I will say that.
Well, I like that point from you, but let's be real here. Let's just be very candid and very honest. The walk and talks, very for camera, very like
comfortable.
I don't think it's rehearsed, but it definitely is like you're putting a different shade on the coach. And in a way, I do think, and you could see it. You could see right through it. Like you could tell that, hey, this is not. I don't want to say he's putting
Everything's
on
about recruiting.
Well,
and the brand of Nebraska.
I don't want to
football.
say he's putting on an act, because I think that's kind of disrespectful. That kind of that's a bad term to use. But for a lack of a better term, there's a different tone, right, to when he does the walk and talks. I think from like a brand perspective, you want more of those candid moments. You want more of those raw moments. You want more of those uncut moments from him. And I think that I don't think there's anything act or anything shaded about like what he's doing when he's in that locker room and in that moment. Now I'm on Barstool right now because I'm trying to see if they posted about it.
That speech, by the way, wasn't for the second half of Akron. That speech was for Michigan.
Yeah.
Hour 3 coming up next. Speaking of Michigan and Bud Crawford. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Did I just get eliminated from American Idol?
What now?
This song?
The song is being played all around Chicago today.
Yeah. Okay. So if you've been listening to Jimmy on the ones and twos, being our DJ, you have definitely been feeding in incredibly sad music this entire time.
I'm going on little sleep. I have a newborn at home. I don't know what you speak of. In fact, I woke up in the middle of the night to be like, what happened in the game?
He played Blink-182 like I wouldn't notice.
They're a great band. They take me back to a simpler time.
You know, back when Blink-182 was really good, they were very popular. The Bears were winning playoff games.
The Huskers were kicking ass.
Blink-182 has had a nice little resurgence here in the last couple of summers.
I think punk rock is back. I think
really,
big time.
You heard it here first.
Example?
Me. I just never was.
Wow, trendsetter.
Yeah, I just never been into it. You get sad, man. You start getting into punk rock. It works. You know, for all those people like the emo guys and whatnot, and talking about how you listen to that stuff, it makes you feel something. They're right.
Brad writes into the Equitable Bank inbox. He said, speaking of soft, tell Matt to quit whining on the radio like a little.
Whoa.
Plus, anybody that watched Williams' senior year knew he was trash. Quit calling him generational.
Nobody called him. Well, out of college, he was generational. He was. Nobody moved and threw like that before. And by the way, whining, I'm pointing out what went wrong.
Yeah, there was a little whining in there. There you had a little whining.
It's all in the radio replay.
Hey, shock. I just got a text from somebody. 80 eastbound is slow from Giles to 370. Shock.
Breaking news.
Do we get Peter in here to read that? Tell him. I'll text him.
Somebody, I don't think I was whining. I was complaining about the Giles project that knows a little bit yesterday that listens to the show.
Sure.
They sent me an email and they called me pal.
Oh,
they said, good luck, pal. Seems like that project is going to take a little bit longer.
Is pal the new buddy? You know, like buddy used to be the
like
word.
It wasn't a nice email?
Yeah.
No, it was a nice email, but sometimes when somebody says pal, it's not.
They're not being your friend.
You're not ready to like, oh, hey, lovey-dovey, hey, dap it up, man. Let's give a roll hug.
I hate.
They're like, let's add another project.
Strong word. Don't call me guy. You know, you ever had anybody guy,
buddy?
Let me tell you. Hey,
buddy.
Hey, calm down, guy.
Mike Thompson, old PD here, buddy.
Yeah,
hey, what's up, buddy?
have you met?
Yes.
Guy. Like if you call me guy,
can you tell that story?
I'm probably nope.
Why? That has nothing to do with us.
It's funny if you want to tell it. I laughed my Akron off when you told me that story.
So he may not know this. He may get people from here that crash. He lives across the street from the Rose Bowl. He's now pretty sure he's retired. He's still doing commercials. But we had an old PD here and everybody was buddy. I don't think he knew anybody's name. But everybody was buddy. And
what's up, stud?
His wife never moved from California when he moved to Omaha.
Yeah.
And periodically she would come to visit. And she came to visit the radio station one day, opened the door after I got done with my show. And he goes, I want you to meet somebody. Introduced me to his wife. And he goes, kind of funny that she's Asian, right? I was like, what?
Whoa.
What?
What was your response?
It's nice to meet you. Welcome to Omaha. Welcome to the zone.
I go, hi, I've heard a lot about you. He goes, that's funny, right? I'm like, how is that funny?
Were you
maybe you guys are in love. Why does it have to be kind of funny that she's Asian? I'm like, what?
You should have been like, did you have a tough time getting through here on Giles?
That sounds like something you say in a baseball.
Here's the one. He tried to butter me up because he knew I was a Chiefs fan. He goes, hey, when I was in Philadelphia, I got to know Andy Reid and his son. How's his son doing? I said, committed suicide.
Ed will be right.
And he's like, oh, well, how's Andy doing?
Just a bit outside.
I'm like, hello.
Count goes 2-1.
Take me out to the ball.
Okay. So Saturday night, going from 135 to 168. It is the one, the only, it is Bud Crawford. We got a shout out from Matt Rule yesterday. They built a nice little relationship. So this is the world that I live in and y'all should live in. Because you can smell it. You can feel it. We haven't had it around here in a while. Next week is a big week. and it's going to feel like the old days.
Mhm.
We're going to lean into the nostalgia. I might go and dig out my black T-shirt that has both helmets, that has helmets on it, and it's the 94-95 championship T-shirt. I may go find that and wear it all week because everything has been centered around Michigan.
Oh yeah,
Everything. Like it
the whole season.
it's
almost.
okay, everybody. When we get done at 1:15, about the midway through the third quarter on Saturday, and you're like, okay, now it's safe. Next week, Michigan week will be off the chains, and it's great, and you want more of that. But I got something for you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night and early Sunday morning, Bud Crawford wins. And a week later, he leads Nebraska out of the tunnel for the tunnel walk. You ready for that?
Yes.
Okay.
With
right.
the new, is it a WBC belt he's fighting for?
1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
Oh, I think last time when he came for the Colorado game, they provided him with his own Nebraska championship.
No, I
belt.
want him to walk out with that green belt. I want him to, man, that WBC title is one of the most underrated looking title belts just in human history. It is such a pretty belt.
By the way, I think you can, because Rule has done Bud a solid, or Rule came up to Omaha last Friday, 2 Fridays ago after Cincinnati, and spoke at his send-off party at Stinson. I think Bud, and Bud has worn Creighton stuff, and he's worn Nebraska stuff, and he's worn Omaha stuff. I think he'll be decked out in some GBR on Saturday night.
Okay, you're gonna maybe not agree with me. I think it would be really cool if you walked out in a Nebraska
With the Burger King mascot?
Nope.
Oh,
No.
because that happened before.
When?
You got my attention.
When did that happen?
It wasn't when he fought here in Omaha? I don't know. There's one time that
The king, the scary guy,
Yeah,
is related to Pistol
yeah.
Pete at
If he
Oklahoma
walked out
State.
with Eminem. If he walked out with Eminem again, that would be incredible. That'd be sick. But if he walked out with a Nebraska robe, but then had blue gloves, like Creighton blue gloves, represented Omaha.
All right.
I knew you wouldn't like that.
I know. I just they don't go together.
Reminds me of the Cubans in the
he's
Olympics.
representing both schools. What if he walked out with Mav gloves on? Like he had 2 bowls. He had Durango the bowl.
What
on
if he
both
just
gloves.
walked out with Omaha stuff?
That would be great too.
He is from Omaha.
I would be a big fan of that.
He lives in Omaha,
We
which
live in
is still
Omaha.
very surprising and good on him that Bud has remained in this community, because he could easily live in Vegas or somewhere else.
Oh, sure.
But he lives. He got a nice place, really nice place. Too many people know where he lives, but he's got a nice place. He's got a lot more security there than they had recently. So if you're thinking about, hey, the Crawfords are in Vegas, don't try it.
Big dogs.
It's just got much darker
He's
quickly.
got because his house got broken into.
I remember
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Too many people know
That's
where he
good.
lives.
Mhm.
Like he's kept that pretty quiet. Beautiful place. But yeah, they've upped the security at his place.
Don't try it.
No.
And that's not nice.
No. Don't try it. Yeah. All right. Here is somebody who told us he was taking his 12-year-old son to Soldier Field last night.
God.
All right. Here we go. Good morning, Ben.
Benny.
Welcome.
I was thinking about
Good morning.
you, Ben.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course.
Had a great night.
Did you?
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about when you told your son that you guys were going to Chicago and he was not going to a doctor's appointment to go to the game. His reaction was
Disbelief. We got all the way to the airport before he realized we weren't going to the doctor's.
that's awesome.
That's sick. And then when you told him you had the tickets, like you showed him the tickets, and you're like, "Hey, we're doing this." What was that? What was that moment like for you to see him so happy?
For me, yesterday and the whole experience has probably been one of the greatest days, moments of my life.
That's
You know,
awesome.
aside from my other son being born and being married, being able to share an experience like that with your kid who shows extreme gratitude and appreciation and is a great kid, can't be topped.
That's awesome. How did you feel about the game?
Well, the game was, it was tough. It was looking real good for a while. Caleb makes some bad throws, but when he's dropping back, he's not getting the same time to be able to scan the field that J.J. McCarthy was. And J.J. McCarthy isn't good. When they play teams that can play 4 quarters of defense, he'll throw for 50% and be pretty bad. But the Bears just couldn't cover tight ends and backs out of the backfield with linebackers. The Vikings were playing 3 high a lot, so they weren't letting anything get downfield until the end, that fourth quarter, when they were more 2 high and rotating that third safety down into the box more, which was a little weird, but just didn't get it done, missed too many throws. You know, if he hits DJ on that throw in the fourth quarter and score with about 3 minutes left, they probably have a chance, but sailing that ball 8 yards over his head isn't going to get it done.
Yeah. The atmosphere looked fantastic. The weather was great for your trip with your son.
Unbelievable. And, you know, I mean, we're pretty lucky. You know, we have a hotel room that's overlooking the lake, and waking up to that.
God.
It's been a fantastic experience.
That is great, Ben. I'm glad that you got to experience with your son, and your son has a father like you.
Yeah.
And tell us when you do this again. But man, that's cool that he was shocked to go. I hope you guys have safe travel back, and you get to do more of these son and father trips.
Appreciate it. The only problem is my oldest is a Packers fan.
Ben! Whoa.
How'd you
Yeah,
let that happen?
I blamed flag football, and you know, when he's a kindergartner, he was on the Packers.
Oh no!
And ruined his life.
I mean, there's still time. There's still time. We'll fix him. Ben, thanks for the phone call.
Thanks.
This is a thing someone could do a thesis on, that if your flag football team could end up changing years of being a fan of a team in your family.
He's not Jimmy.
And you end up a random team.
My best friend, he's an Eagles fan because he played on the Eagles flag football team growing up. Like it's some of these teams just absolutely change the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
Which,
I
by
heard
the
you a
way,
Seahawks fan
you
living
say
in
there's-
Sarasota.
You say there's time. I think Ben's youngest son watched the Packers game and then watched the Bears game and realized that he made the absolute right decision on picking what team to root for.
You know what? I'm glad you have loyalty to your team, because it just sounds like you have jumped off. Like, are you searching for a new team? This
No,
morning?
God, no. I never.
I'll do it before he does it.
I
and I'm
never
too
will
lazy
not
to do
be a Bears fan. All right. I will never give up on the team. As much as I talk about it, as much as I joke about it, as much as they make me mad, I will never give up. Okay. I am.
They say
with
don't
them for
ever give
life.
up. Jimmy V. Great speech.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with the Bears, by the way.
No.
What a great speech.
Did you see Jim McMahon yesterday? He looked pretty good, Jim. Nice bald hair. Yeah, bald head.
Oh, it was great seeing him.
The punky quarterback. It's probably, honestly, they were probably the best football team out there last night. They look
In
like
the McSports book,
we
the
got
85
hammered.
Bears against the 25 Bears.
Today.
What would be the line?
Oh, Bears minus 13, 85 Bears. Well, the Bears money line. The Bears are going to win.
Yeah, we're talking about when they're playing, not like now.
it. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, I just want to clarify that.
85 Bears minus 9.5. Total of that game, 39.5.
All right.
9.5. I'd say 9.5.
wow.
That's a big spread in the NFL. 9.5.
No,
That's a lot of points.
It's going to be a pretty big game next Sunday between Detroit and Chicago. How did Atlanta, by the way, get – so Minnesota's prime time, and I think the Bills and the Vikings should always play prime time because they play a crazy game. Atlanta and Minnesota are the Sunday night game?
Yeah, weird, right?
Are you
How
thinking
did
Kirk Cousins
Atlanta
might
get-
come in at some point?
Well,
Did you watch that?
I think there were some people that Viking fans in that first quarter were thinking, Sam, Kirk,
Trade?
and then they got JJ, who's got very much a work in progress. But man, he had some poise, some confidence, a play caller that, you know.
He can rip the ball over the middle of the field. It was so frustrating. I mean, he's got the perfect arm. Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Hear me out. JJ McCarthy has, there are some guys where their arm is really, really strong and they have to measure it, right? They have to think I can't throw it too hard. McCarthy's hardest throw that he can give is just just under the echelon of like not being able to catch it. You know what I'm saying? So when he like rifles it in there and he throws as fast as he can, it still is a very catchable ball. Like Caleb, if he throws it as hard as he can, it's still hard.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard to catch that ball.
But he just lacks the accuracy, unlike the person that threw the toy into the end zone last night.
There was a toy that was thrown in the end zone.
There was a toy. Somebody brought a toy to the game last night and threw it in the end zone.
Kevin O'Connell.
The NBA stuff has infiltrated the NFL.
Why can't I be a fan of an AFC South team and just root against a bunch of teams that have terrible coaches? Why do I have to be in a division that has
Which one would you pick?
If I was an AFC South team,
Yeah.
I think I'd be a Colts fan, unfortunately, just because of the proximity of where I grew up. Yeah, and I love Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't I be a fan in that division where I don't have to deal with 3 of the best 7 coaches in the NFC?
Oh, it's a life that you've chosen. I mean, I think you were born into it.
It chose you.
You should have opted for orphanages.
No,
You
I would
stay in your family.
No, I think I would much rather be a Bears fan than opt for orphan.
You could have been an orphan. Could have taken the train to Kenosha, and the next thing you know, you're a Packer fan. Bernie texted in. He said his son, that's a Packer fan, will have a much better mental health. As a Packer fan, I'm happier at least 10 more weeks a year than my Bears friends.
I can't.
Someday that'll be a rivalry, right?
It's a good life.
Shut up,
Dare.
Wolvers. You're supposed to be on my team, okay? You're supposed to be with me. We're supposed to be partners.
Spin the truth that I think Aaron Rodgers is the 3rd best Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback of all time.
Look,
Even better
Bradshaw,
than Neil
Roethlisberger, and then Rodgers. Yeah, who else?
Neil O'Donnell got to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cordell Stewart played in
Brister did
Pittsburgh.
Played.
Isn't that wild? Aaron Rodgers, you can make a case he's the 3rd best quarterback ever to play for the Steelers, and he played 1 game.
I don't know. Mason Rudolph was pretty good.
So was Cliff
You're
Stout.
not a Kenny Pickett guy? How about Mitch Trubisky? What was it? Hodges? Duck Hodges? Wasn't that
That was a guy.
that was a dude? Played for the Steelers.
Great name.
All right, when we come back, we are obligated to mention Houston Christian at least once an hour more than Michigan. Next week's going to be fun.
Tune in, Big Red Overreaction. It's gonna be enjoyable.
No, the whole week. It's a big game week. You don't have to. You're not. You go before Indiana, Illinois. That's the 6:30 game on NBC. It's 2:30.
Crawford's down to plus 130.
Bud's coming.
I'm
Bud's coming.
gonna
I
bet.
think he'll have more accuracy throwing his punches than Caleb Williams will.
I mean, he won't. Statistically, he won't. Caleb still went 10 for 10 on his first 10 throws.
I don't know. Bud strikes me as a guy that always has an appetite to be the best. I don't know. I'm looking at Caleb, and I'm not sure. But you have week 2.
No, I don't.
You have 16 more games.
You know that's not how this works. Not after yesterday.
At least you're not going to have to make the decision if you should take Arch Manning or not. All right.
We might have to.
Gary and Matt with Jimmy. We're back after this. 1620 The Zone.
He sucks. He had so much more time in the pocket than he gave himself. He looked like Chubba out there sometimes, but Chubba would run backwards. Or at least he was running forwards. Yeah. All right, I'll read. Sorry, I got to read this. I have to read this.
Yeah. The season's already started. And we're doing that contest now.
September's almost over.
And by the way, did you guys know they'd got approved?
No.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
This is actually a sick gift. That's sick. Did you see that bar that I sent you? The picture?
Yeah.
A Packer bar? God, thank God Bernstein's no longer on the air.
Who?
Dan Bernstein.
Oh, but you listened to his podcast today.
I
I might actually end up listening to it because I want to hear what he has to say. Bernstein, closeted stat guy.
Yeah.
He's got the. Every time I listen to him, he always. I don't know if he was partnered Elias Sports because Elias Sports is out of that. $16.20 The Zone has a special treat for you. California Dreamin' Flyaway, powered by Neutral Vodka Seltzer. Everybody loves a great seltzer, especially at a football game. No better place to have a seltzer than a football game.
Healthier.
You can get 2 tickets to Nebraska versus UCLA for November 8th, 2 round-trip tickets from Omaha to LAX, 2-night stay in a hotel, and a $350 gift card to spend on food, merch, or Ubers. Enter online at 1620thezone.com for your chance to win, powered by Neutral Vodka Seltzer.
Hell yes. That might be our best one we've done.
I know. It's an incredible giveaway. Incredible opportunity to go to Pasadena and enjoy all the seltzers from neutral vodka you
Got to.
possibly
Oh, I
have
bet
at the
there's a
football
lot
dinner.
of. I bet the 15 UCLA fans that will be outside the stadium will be, tailgating there on the golf course that's outside of the Rose Bowl. They'll have some neutrals.
You say that jokingly, but that sounds like an incredible way to tailgate on a
Does.
golf course.
Yeah, so there's a golf course right next to the Rose Bowl, and when stuff's going on at the Rose Bowl, they use it as a parking lot.
That's
which
awesome.
shows you the quality of that golf course.
Well, does it turn into a 16-hole course? Because that's my type of course.
It's fair.
I've told that to you before, and you almost slapped me when I said that golf would be
I
better.
slapped you?
You
I don't
almost
slap.
It looked
I'm not a
like
slapper.
What the hell happened while I was gone?
It looked like you wanted to slap me when I told you that I wish golf was 16 holes.
Oh yeah, this was a millennial, Gen Z, whatever the hell you are.
You were so disappointed in me when I told you I go just 17 and 18 are a little too much for me. What, a front 8 and a back 8? It would be perfect.
Even numbers.
I love golf. I'm not saying I golf a lot, so I have no problem with 18.
I'll throw that out to the guys at Arbor Links today.
I think Jay Moore is no longer going to come on the show tomorrow
No,
after hearing that.
No, but it'll just be him and I talking. Okay, so yesterday, Sharon Moore made the announcement that he's gone for 2 weeks. Biff Poggi will be the interim head coach. If you're not familiar with Biff's game, let me introduce you to Biff. Biff used to be the head football coach at Charlotte, and he was famous for wearing shirts that didn't have sleeves. These are not hoodies that are cut off. He did not wear sleeves. Now, Biff is 66 years old. Biff is not body by Jake. He's more body by the Pizza Ranch.
Okay.
Multiple trips through.
Solid body. Durable.
But that's okay. You know what? Biff is a character. Biff is not from Back to the Future. Biff is an American football coach, according to his Wikipedia page, and used to play football. So he has been a head coach, and he's going to be the interim head coach for Michigan this weekend, and then when they play in Lincoln. Just think about if you played football at Michigan, like you're now in like 5th, 6th year. You've played a lot of games where you've had an interim head coach.
I was about to say.
Yeah. So it got me to think, I don't think next Saturday is Rule versus Biff, or it would have been Rule versus Moore. This is Dana versus Wink Martindale.
Mm-hmm.
But
that sounds way sexier.
No, it's there.
No, it does.
So
No,
this is,
we know who they are.
You look at defenses that Nebraska has gone against since Dana's been here that like to get nasty in the trenches, and that's where they win the football game. Talking about Iowa, they didn't score a ton of points. So now you're going to play a in the dirt game.
Yeah.
So I think it's Dana versus Wink Martindale, which is a fantastic inside kind of game.
Well,
but you want to be blown away by something?
I always love to.
I'm going to say that this is the first. I don't need Mike Babcock to sit down and wax poetic about Nebraska football history, which I love. So him and I, the other night, you would have loved this. When everybody was like looking in the record book, Babbers and I were just rattling off like numbers.
Yeah.
Kids forget about Nebraska once went to the Metrodome and Joe Salem decided to blitz Turner Gill, Irving Fryer, and Mike Rozier the whole game and got beat 84-13. So Mike and I were talking about like things about that game.
Sure.
Next Saturday will be the first time that Nebraska football has faced a Biff, a Chip, and a Wink. So Wink Martindale, former NFL defensive coordinator, is Michigan's defensive coordinator. Chip Lindsey is the offensive coordinator. So Nebraska will go up against a Biff, a Chip, and a Wink.
That's a great start to a joke.
Pre-game show just does itself.
Walk into a bar. You may not remember this, but like 3 years ago, Lou Amarillo and Mike McDaniel. This is when like the Dolphins were hot.
Yeah,
they like it was.
I remember
everyone
that year.
was freaking out. Oh my God.
They scored 70 points.
McDaniel versus Amarillo. Like all of the football like nerds and like they were freaking out about how good of a matchup it was that McDaniel was going to face off against Lou. I kind of get the same vibe with Wink versus Dana, where it's like if you're a ball knower and you followed the history of college,
game Tua got hurt
of just football, but like if you just followed the history of football in general and you've been watching this episodic television show that is just what we watch on Saturdays and Sundays, you would know that it's actually pretty sick that these two are like going to face off against each other because in their own very unique way, they are incredibly successful without being super name brand, I'm more worried, and I get what you're saying with
because next week you like double D's, right? You like when you go DD because next week is a double D week.
how is
that
it
is what you said.
This is
on the hot mic.
This is either the one or the two top things next week is a pair of double D's.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Dana and Dylan together.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, we've been
Awesome.
doing double D's all season.
Yeah, but this is the double D's are even more for the Michigan game.
They're how can the double D's get bigger?
Well, they don't
Money,
They
usually.
don't get bigger. Okay, they're always the same.
They just get more important.
They
Jimmy,
are.
I caught that.
I think it's Dana versus Wink Martindale. That's like one of the top storylines. And Dana brings his quarterback along.
Personally, I know what you're saying. I think this is more about the Michigan running offense versus the Nebraska run defense. I think that's what this game is going to come down to. I saw Michigan's run offense against Oklahoma, and unfortunately, they were kind of stuck they couldn't break off a big one, but they were getting enough yards where they couldn't fully abandon the run. And I actually think it went against them because Oklahoma would stuff one and then they would get into an obvious passing situation. And then, Venables would send the dogs on Underwood. But I saw enough from Michigan's run offense to be nervous. I saw enough from Justice Haynes to be like, if you got the wrong matchups out there, if you have the wrong pairings, if you have RVP playing more like he did against Cincinnati compared to how he played against Akron, which I think he had a pretty good game against Akron, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a very long day if they don't play well up front.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that this weekend. They don't play well up front, and Houston Christian might score.
No, score, not win.
I think it'll be more competitive in the first half than it was last Saturday. But I think the roof will cave in early third quarter, and it will be Katie bar the door, blowout city. I will be curious.
Be very warm.
So, the guy that won a quarterback last night, J.J. McCarthy. You
can just say J.J. McCarthy,
Well, yeah, but he was on the winning team. He's 1-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Do you realize he did some things last night that have not happened as a quarterback that's starting his first game?
When?
You can just go to the internet and you can see all of those stats for you. Like watching Bryce Underwood against Oklahoma, and maybe without Sharon Moore, it changes. But look at how the play calling developed confidence last night with Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they let him throw on key downs instead of taking the ball out of his hands.
They did.
So Michigan against Oklahoma did not do that with Bryce Underwood. They did not let him throw the football. So what are you thinking? Oh man, I guess they don't trust me. They don't have confidence. And they were kind of conservative with Bryce Underwood. There were some times where I thought they could just take off the handcuffs and let old BU cook. I mean, you paid $10 million plus for him. Will that continue when they get to their next big game? Now, I think they'll benefit from losing to Oklahoma because they've got tape of a loss of things they need to shore up, and some things where guys they were counting on did not play well.
Sure.
So, I'm with the belief this isn't going to change. It's going to be a close ball game. I mean, I think it's going to be a close ball game. I'm not going to tell you who's going to win, but I think it's going to be a close ball game. Is the other part of the Michigan thing is will they adjust to give him more confidence and let him do things like throwing the ball on third down? But I was listening to Sharon Moore yesterday. They have quite a few injuries.
Do they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Michigan appears in their first 2 weeks to be beat up.
Okay.
He went through a lengthy list of guys that, you go, isn't that guy a starter? Isn't that guy a key backup?
A big thing, though, with that, I mean, you know this. They have so much talent on that team.
They do.
Just so many 4 or 5-star Mr. Footballs that are just spread throughout the roster. And, I mean, I think that's the main difference, right, between Tier 1 programs and Tier 2 programs. Tier 1 programs can sustain injuries and just bring up high school All-Americans, and they're going to be in the NFL or playing anyway in 2 years. So you just kind of speed up their development. The kid gloves coming off, I can see that happening. But don't you think they would watch the Cincinnati tape and say, hey, we're going to have Underwood run the ball more? We're going to try and utilize a quarterback run game. Or they're going to say, hey, Bryce, what we're going to do with you is if they don't have a spy on you, you're going to drop back. And if you don't see a guy right away, just take off.
But do you think Nebraska will look at Oklahoma film and go, hey, this is what Venables did?
But do they have the defensive line to recreate that? Do they have those guys up front to recreate those stunts, to recreate those different packages?
No, but you would go into the lab to try and throw things at a freshman that he hasn't seen.
See, I do think the advantage of having as great of a secondary as Nebraska has is their ability to disguise things. Because that's what the 3-3-5, I mean, amongst other things, is really made for, right? Being able to disguise a bunch of different looks and make the pre-snap look incredibly difficult for the quarterback. Having the experience that they have, I mean, I loved it yesterday before the Bears ended up blowing it. Like Peyton Manning was like, I've been in the league for 18 years, and I thought that was man, and it was actually zone.
That was a good part of Manning Cast last night.
That was a great part of Manning Cast. Like, I think Nebraska has that ability to do it on the back end, but I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if Nebraska can look at what Oklahoma did and say, hey, we're going to try and recreate what they did up front. They just don't have the production up front to do that. I mean, let's be real here. They've played two games, and the starters on the defense have played 7 quarters of football, and they haven't recorded a sack. Like that's concerning.
Okay, can I be the other side of that?
Yes.
That defensive backfield has been pretty good.
Oh, it's been awesome.
With when you haven't had a sack. So yes, you are right. That's a little bit alarming. But I'm gonna go with a positive. Is that with all that said, the defensive backs have been pretty sticky.
But wouldn't that even make it more concerning to you though that the backs have been sticky and the coverage on the back end has been good and there's been more time in the pocket and they still haven't been able to get them?
You would think with no sacks, like somebody, a Sorsby or a Finley, diced up in the passing game because they were under no pressure.
Yeah, and I think if you're talking about the defense as a whole, like if we're looking at 1,000-foot view, yes, they've been incredible.
And it is kind of odd that through 2 games you don't have like just one sack.
But wouldn't the expectation, and maybe less so with Michigan, because even when they were winning all those games, their best wide receiver was Roman Wilson, who ended up going in the second day of the draft.
But they had J.J. McCarthy, who last night won, so he's 28-1 his last 29
J.J. McCarthy
games.
has nothing to do with the point that I just brought up. It was everything to do with the fact that, in theory, when you play better teams, the longer that wide receivers are able to run and the quarterback isn't on the ground, the more likely they are to catch the pass. Because when scramble rules are enforced, it's harder to cover. I am concerned about the fact that this team just has not shown the ability to get the quarterback down.
That is a very much a valid concern. So that's why I think you got to put some points up, ma'am.
You have. So when are we
Dana versus Wink?
Is that a because I am not subscribing at all to the Dana's overrated or Dana isn't. I'm not.
Is this a Dylan conversation about Legway?
No.
Okay.
No. This is when are we going to finally push past yes, it looks better, but the score hasn't been indicative of it. You know what I'm saying?
Did I go to the wrong game Saturday night?
No. I'm talking about the Cincinnati game, and I'm talking about the Iowa game, and I'm talking about the USC game.
Okay.
Like, the offense looks so much better, and it looks so much smoother, and Dylan has taken great steps. But when they've played Power 5 teams, it's not like Sans, Wisconsin. It's not like they've absolutely lit the scoreboard on fire. Like, I would love for them. I would love for them to have another 30-point game against a Big Ten team, or have a game where it's like, man, the offense looks great, and there was no flubs in the red zone, and there was no fumbles.
That's why I continue to bring up Dana, because we're a Big Ten offensive coordinator now, and we're playing a Big Ten game against Big Ten bodies and Big Ten people that play Big Ten football. That's why I say it's Dana versus Wink.
Yeah,
to figure out how to score points.
Well,
that's my angle of one of the top storylines for next week.
I think it's a valid angle. You said it last week though against Akron, and it really didn't fully come true. Can't trade field goals for touchdowns.
Yep.
Once
Nebraska crosses their 40 and they're headed towards the goal line, they got to find a way to put the ball in the end zone. Listen, last Saturday night was darn near flawless, but the red zone thing isn't a real thing, because it was a real thing last year.
Yes.
And their inability to run the football in the red zone is startling.
It's even against Akron.
Mm-hmm. And you look at, they tried the tush push with Harburg.
It was so badly executed.
But Akron had the entire city that was in the neutral zone to stop that. It would have been fantastic. What about a bootleg? What about a bootleg pass? Something like that.
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
I mean, is this a Nebraska does not have an exotic book of plays inside of the 5-yard line? But you also think this: shouldn't your offensive line be able to push the pile a yard or two to get into the end zone?
Also, shouldn't your running backs just be able to diagnose a hole within the 5-yard line?
Or not have a running back that, why are we diving from the 5? It's just the red zone. The red zone thing is an issue.
So did you?
And it won't be resolved this weekend.
You like the RPO though on the 4th and 2 against Cincinnati?
Yes,
that was sexy.
Yes,
that was nice.
And they ran the same play back to back.
They Xeroxed it.
Yes,
and now, man, I should have put it on run through the tape. You think you had 7 guys pushing against 11 dudes on that tush push?
I know it's
so bad,
and I don't know how nobody was offside.
0,
because what the Evans' helmet was in the neutral zone. Every Akron player, their helmet was in the neutral zone.
They don't give a damn. They don't care. It's clearly that they don't care. They're just like, they're gonna have. You know what? Archie Wilson was standing on the sideline. He's like, I've seen this at home all the time.
It would have been a fantastic for Harburg under center. Everybody in the ballpark thinks you're tush pushing, and Harburg just rolls out and with his speed beats somebody to the corner.
God, I'll never get over. And I know they got their butts whooped that game, and it really wouldn't have ended up mattering. But in 2023, when they played Michigan in September and they lost 45-7.
You know who the quarterback was? Part of that stretch where he's 28-1 his last 29, including the one last night. He also was the quarterback of that game.
Do you remember the 4th and 1 with Harburg where they were in the shotgun and they brought him out and then he just ran straight into the offensive line and failed to convert a 4th and 2? That's up there with one of the worst plays I've seen in person. They were marching. They were actually having like a sustainable drive. And they went shotgun QB draw with 9 guys lined up on the defense on the O-line or on the D line.
Well, math has not always been the strength of Nebraska's
Can we
offense.
go back to the tush push? What was Ives doing? He was doing nothing on that play. He was just standing to the left of Harburg, watching him get stuffed.
When we come back, speaking of Archie Wilson, and the University of Florida as well, made a lot of news yesterday. I think we need a reality check of Florida football. We'll get into that. Brian Christopherson, Viking fan, coming up at the top of the hour. I bet he slept well last night.
I didn't.
He's probably on Score North. He's probably listening to Phil and Judd.
He probably went
on Purple Daily. He's going to check in with Matthew Collier today. Let me talk about the Vikes win.
He probably went to bed before the end of the game and woke up and said, "Oh, they won."
Oh no, this is the Bears we're talking about. People get satisfaction out of beating the Bears, so at least you matter.
He knew they'd win.
Yeah,
I would have much rather that game be at 12:00 on a Sunday.
I think the next time it will be, right?
God, I hope for the rest of the season.
We're back with more Gary and Matt with Jimmy for this in 1620 The Zone. All right, Nathan writes into the Equitable Bank inbox, where they take banking personally. Hello, old man Doug. Doug, just live it at Aramark. I think he's going to boycott hot dogs.
I think
Valentino's beer.
I just retweeted something, Gary.
Uh-oh.
I think DraftKings got a hold of one of my texts.
Yeah.
What happened with Aramark?
Hold on here.
Look at thoughts from last night. This is a text. Thoughts from last night. Absolutely should have won. O'Connell outcoached Ben. Caleb inaccurate and missed many wide open guys. Heard numerous calls that Rowe was wide open and Caleb would not throw him. Aikman mentioned it many times. Somebody got my text from DraftKings, posted it.
Nathan writes in, can confirm women drink seltzers predominantly.
Yeah, that's known.
I'm
But
not
that
done with the
doesn't.
email yet. Caleb
There's
Williams probably drinks seltzers. Can you confirm?
He probably does.
Okay.
I don't care what he does or what he drinks or
You
what
want your
he's
quarterback
into or
staying
whatever.
lean. You should encourage this.
I don't give a damn what Caleb
Mean
does.
fighting machine.
I don't give a damn what Caleb does as long as he wins games.
Billy
And
Kilmer
unfortunately,
did not drink
he's-
seltzers.
He's now 5-13 in his career as the Bears quarterback.
Oh, you could be the Dolphins. But Chris writes in about the no sacks. Super in capital letters concerning. After 2 games, you should at least have a quarterback trip and fall down trying to scramble and even give a false sack at least once. And this is against 2 bad teams. Well, 1 bad team and 1 terrible team. Nwaneri better start 5-starring or we are in trouble when we get to the part of the schedule where we are actually playing teams with a pulse.
I don't know. I don't think you could say Cincinnati didn't have a pulse. I think Cincinnati is going to be a pretty solid team of the Big 12. I mean,
That's not a glaring endorsement this year.
I do think that the Big 12 is better than you two are giving them credit for. I do.
My alma mater's in the
Baylor-
Big 12. And
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
like,
whoa.
Good thing KU's having boot camp with Bill Self this week. That gets me excited.
Oh, no, they'll win 9 or 10 games.
Baylor
they're not
went on
done
the
with football
road.
yet.
Kansas State should be 0-3 with losses to Army and North Dakota.
But
Not the Bison.
Baylor went on the road and they ended up beating 17th ranked SMU, like in a hostile environment. That's
beat
pretty
at home
damn-
by Auburn.
That's pretty damn. Well, if it weren't for a kick return
Oklahoma
touchdown,
State got blown out in
He-
Eugene.
Baylor went on the road and beat a
Arizona
ranked
State
team.
lost at Mississippi
Thought
State.
Lanning took it
Iowa
easy
State
on
looks like one of the
LSU.
best damn teams in the
Yeah.
country. Utah absolutely dominated a Big Ten team. that people
Utah,
thought was gonna be
back.
sneaky.
Utah, Texas Tech, and Iowa State look good.
TCU looked damn good. TCU is very impressive. Josh Hoover is one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
They are
right
due
now.
for a 10-win season
All right.
there.
They've got the top
We
4
are-
or 5 in the Big 12.
We are 8 weeks from basketball season. Go Big 12.
That's insane.
We'll talk about the pass rush a little bit with Brian Christopherson when he joins us here in a moment. I have to tell an Archie Wilson story.
Oh.
This is from our good friend Kellyanne, of course, the professional tailgater,
Yes.
who is very upset that he did not award the best tailgate anymore.
They used to give out that award?
Yeah, they
that's
used to.
Sponsored and everything.
It was
That's
either
It was good.
Bo Rude or Brendan Stye or Josh Banderas. I think would go out in the parking lot and they would go to tailgates and they would determine who has the best tailgate. Well,
Great
this is
promotion.
not a surprise if you know Kellyanne. She's a professional
That's
tailgater.
awesome.
She is a lot dear. She got some D's out there for the College World Series,
All right.
but she is got a great tailgate. The Wilsons showed up at her tailgate.
That's awesome. I didn't realize it was them until you started bringing, because we got a text from her. I didn't realize it was them until you re-brought it up, and then I looked at the text again.
I'm
and
telling you,
recognize.
hey, Rule listens to everything. Even if like Nebraska is faced with a 4th and 1, they're going to punt because he wants Archie to play.
Are they going to be back for the Houston Christian game?
Yeah, they're here for a month,
Good for them.
but they stopped
Awesome.
at the tailgate. Now remember, they're from Australia. Kellyanne says they don't tailgate in Melbourne, so I had to explain it to his mom. She was floored that people just welcome others in. Are Australians not known for their hospitality?
well, look,
I thought they tailgate for those Aussie rules games. Those look like a blast.
Don't they tailgate outside the Australian Open?
I have
warm.
no clue. I've never been to Australia.
Don't when you go to the Sydney Opera House before you go in, you tailgate?
No. This is
Their
how
Big Brother
this
is
is how
legit.
uneducated I am. The really only thing I know about Australia is that, number one, there are different athletes out there. Look at the Hemsworths. Look at like the Australian tennis players. Look at Archie Wilson. Everybody in Australia just seems like they're four inches taller than everybody else in America. Number two, the only time I see Australia on Instagram or social media is when they post the videos of those massive spiders that are just in people's houses. It just seems like every other week there's just another big spider that's in an Australian's house. Number three,
everybody's selling
the
something.
World Cup of rugby. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
Apparently,
Great watch.
Kellyanne also introduced him to jelly shots.
Nice.
Hell yes. Nebraska, nice.
Now, the family is here, the mom and dad and the 2 kids. They didn't get to watch their son kick. There was a NBC. So NBC is doing like a story, like a big story on Archie Wilson, and they got no film on Saturday night.
That guy might be the most talked about kicker in all of America. It is incredible how much it's a great story, but it's incredible how much a punter gets talked about.
Because he played his first game in college and he might have been the MVP for Nebraska.
No, it's
and in the second game, he didn't even play. 108 guys played, Archie, and you weren't one of them.
Out of all of the things that I had on my bingo card this year, Nebraska having a superstar kicker that's all over national television was not on there.
Punt on first down, one series. Once the game's
you
in
watch, hey, 4th and 1, Raul will be like, he'll be doing this.
Do the little hand thing.
And Raul will be like, I got to do it for Archie. Archie's got to get out there. He hasn't punted at home yet. Also, I think it would be important for him to punt.
Yeah,
Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be windy on
cold
Saturday.
Because I think you are going to have to punt against Michigan.
How would you feel? Hot take. How would you feel if it was like 2nd and 8 against Houston Christian with like 3 minutes left to go in the game and they punted?
I would think that Rule is topping his love of calling timeouts to have a review or defensive timeouts. I'd be like, oh, this is also on the Rule bingo card.
You could make a Matt Rule in-game bingo card.
He loves him some timeouts for the review.
He does.
It doesn't necessarily go Nebraska's way.
That and we got to take a picture and take a timeout. He loves a picture timeout.
We're back with Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7 after this. Hey, if you've ever been to U.S. Bank Stadium, beautiful place where the Vikings play. By the way, the Nebraska-Minnesota game's on a Friday night. The Eagles and the Vikings play on that Sunday. But when the Vikings score, you might hear this song.
You two are the least supportive friends I've ever
I'm
had
just
in my
playing
life.
music.
This don't make this about you. This is about our next guest, who is a Viking fan, who is in Club 1-0. It is Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. Congratulations and welcome back.
Hey, thanks. I'm not here to talk any smack to Matt, though. I was slouched in my couch, like pouting for most of that game, so I shouldn't act like a big boy now about it.
You knew it was coming, right? You had to.
No, I didn't. I mean, I told you. I think I told you I thought the Bears were going to win going in, and because the first 3 quarters was kind of what I thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a wild scene there. Young JJ was going to struggle. I didn't see that flip coming, but you might have, I guess, having traveled that road with your boys more than I have.
Well, this was supposed to be a new regime, Brian. It was supposed to be it's a new set of boys, apparently. Yet they do what
you
the
know
same
what
boys
you
did
you had a
before.
fair point. I'll give you this, Matt. I saw you were talking about the hold that they called on the Bears when it was 17-6 on social media, and you're right on that. That was a huge call. We caught a break on that one.
You
I
caught
think.
breaks all game, Brian. You caught breaks all game.
You had a lot of penalties that were warranted, but that one.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you. That's so rude.
You got to point the thumb on the pre-snap stuff, right?
That's true.
There was
That's
a lot of that nonsense going on.
That's true.
But yeah, the hold was a bad call, and that was a big call.
You
it
gotta
was one of those where you guys were rolling, and if you score there, we're done.
You got to like how your quarterback and head coach came together in the fourth quarter, right? I mean, that was pretty cool.
I love KOC. We'll see how JJ does as it goes. It was, he was getting crapped on by everybody, and for him to have that big time response is obviously huge for his confidence. But KOC is like Kevin O'Connell is like the perfect coach. Like when crap is hitting the fan, like he's that guy you want on your sideline. He just has this calm demeanor. Like, all right, let's just keep with the process, keep going to work. And his teams win close games because of it. He doesn't panic, and I think they feed off it. He's a great example, I think, for other coaches of like how to handle matters when it's not going as you drew it up on the grease board on Tuesday.
All right, let's a discussion that has come up about, because I love how everything is framed around Michigan. Like it's been that way for the first 2 weeks. It'll be that way this week, and then of course it is Michigan week. But if I would have told you through 2 games, which includes a shutout by the defense, that the leading sack getter for Nebraska would be Ashton Murphy, you would have said what? Because he has half of Nebraska's 2 sacks for 12 yards so far this year.
I would have said, man, we missed on a big storyline throughout the whole off season because we didn't talk enough about Ashton Murphy. That's probably where I would have went. So yeah, it's a little surprising, although given what happened the first week where there were no sacks, I guess it makes sense that we're in that sort of situation. I thought that the D line and the pressure was fine on this last week. It's hard to complain about much from that game. They did what they were supposed to do and responded to what was put in front of them. But I understand that we will go back and forth on this for the next 11, 12 days or whatever until we see how this group responds when they get a Big Ten team in front of them that is going to say, all right, we kind of have looked up and down your roster. You're pretty young there. Let's see if you can hang if we just mash at you for 4 quarters. And obviously that's what Michigan, I think, is going to bring to the table. So it's hard to know like how much better Nebraska is getting over the course of these 2 games. Between Cincinnati and Michigan, we're not going to have a surefire answer, but I did like how they played for what the competition was. I mean, you can only do what you can do, and I thought the Huskers played well up front in that game.
Your colleague or partner, maybe, Mike Schaefer,
Viking fan.
And it has been talking about the fact that he never really understood why Dylan Raiola wasn't talked about maybe as highly as DJ Lagway or Arch Manning or these other very talented quarterbacks. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm sure that you and Mike have talked about it and you've heard some of his arguments. Why do you think personally that heading into the season, we didn't necessarily hype up a Dylan Raiola to the extent we might have hyped up Julian Sayin or Bryce Underwood or some of these other, younger quarterbacks?
It's because he was actually out there more and he got penalized for it. That's the way we are about stuff. And with college football and sports, it's like we always give the benefit of the doubt to someone who hasn't even done it yet or has barely done it or has a very small sample size. And instead of counting on the idea or thinking like, oh, Dylan Raiola's experience of actually playing a full year is probably advantageous for him compared to these other guys. Instead, I feel like on some of the preseason lists, he was knocked for specific games that people recalled of the flaws, that are going to be natural when you're in your first year starting. And so he got dinged for it a little bit in some of those rankings. I don't know if he cared at all about it. I'm guessing he saw some of it. Like I know there was one national ranking of quarterbacks that had him tier 4, of 7
crazy.
tiers and had him ranked 40th. And that's pretty low, I think, as far as what most people would expect for a former 5-star quarterback. So I was surprised that he was as low as he was in some of those. I also thought it was maybe beneficial. It's just like, okay, let the attention be elsewhere. Let it be a little fuel if that works for a guy. And I think people underestimate or don't look enough at who is the quarterback OC tandem, as opposed to just like making the list based off the quarterback himself. It's like, who's he working with and getting those play calls from? And that's why I thought Dylan was probably ranked lower than he should have been. But again, sort of like the D-line conversation, in 2 weeks, we get the real show with him too. And he gets a chance to prove it or not, I guess.
Yeah. See, I never bought into this because Lagway is the one that's used against Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan hasn't had his LSU or Mississippi game where Florida last year, and Lagway was still under a 60% passer in both those games, but Florida beat a ranked team. There wouldn't be this discussion if Dylan would have beaten Ohio State. I mean, we've seen Dylan play. We know what freshman quarterbacks are like. Dylan has his moment now with Michigan, because there will be a lot of eyeballs on 2 major brands playing at 2:30, one to see if Nebraska's real and to see if Michigan is going the wrong way. So he'll get his moment, and then we'll be able to, after Michigan, go, okay, Nebraska's got something, or they're still searching for something, and he'll either be praised nationally or he will be ignored nationally, kind of like he is. I know when you win 68-0, there's not a lot of pick through, and there really wasn't outside of the red zone. But sticking back to the defense, we talk about they've had 2 sacks in 2 games. Is there any concern? And the caveat is everything's framed around Michigan, and we know that Michigan loves to run the football. Nebraska's run defense, BC, because Akron didn't put up big chunk numbers, but on first down, they seem to be pretty successful. They were about 4 yards a pop on their 15 first down carries.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could be nervous about it until they prove themselves against a Big Ten O-line like that. Like I said, that's just going to get in your face and try to mash you for 4 quarters. So this is where it's going to be tough, because we're going to have to talk ourselves in, even though we got to the season and we thought we were past kind of talking ourselves in circles, we're sort of going to have to do it with the D-line, I feel like, for the next week or so until Michigan shows up. And you're just hoping that guys are truly, to the cliche, getting better every day. Like, those Tuesday, Wednesday practices honestly mean a lot. When you think about, like, Jalen George was in a green jersey until most of the offseason, until mid-August. Gabe Moore just got his first snaps after getting out of a green jersey. We see Cade Petchock suddenly. I think he's a very real part of the conversation. So there's these guys that truly are like kind of mounting charges now, even in the last few weeks, to be a significant part of this football team in 2025. And so every day, every hour over there actually matters quite a bit. And I think it's honestly the stuff that's going on before Saturday that's going to be the biggest, thing for those guys to, if they're ready to roll when Michigan comes here. So it is a really interesting storyline, and I don't blame people who are skeptical or have doubts about how that is going to go with such a young group. We've I think kind of circled that all off season, and it's still circled. But I guess there was there is promising stuff though when you see like a Cade Petchock pop up and make plays like he did. But then you're also like, man, he's just 18 or 19 years old. Is he going to be ready for that big grind, or is he a year away? We're going to find out soon.
Hey, would he be considered a steal? I mean,
yes.
West Fargo, North Dakota, and he shows up in Lincoln. Where was Minnesota? Where were some others like Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get talked about a ton, and he also didn't show up here because he wasn't here in the spring. I mean, would he be under the label of, man, that could turn out to be an absolute steal by Nebraska on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, somewhat, but I don't know why. I think 24/7 Sports moved his ranking up as it went along, and this staff knew all along that they had a good one in him. I don't think there's any surprise that he's a factor somewhat already. Honestly, I think they thought if all those young D linemen had been healthy, Malcolm Simpson and Tyson Terry, of course, all those guys were going to be part of this equation this year. They really were in some way or another. So that's a storyline we don't talk as much about, but they lost a couple of options because of those injuries that added to that depth and sort of what you want throughout the Big Ten season. So that's placed even more emphasis or importance, I guess you could say, on Petchock, and just like, can he be like ahead of the curve? And I think he is already in some ways, but maybe he has to be like 2 laps ahead, this season, given how it is. But definitely a strong start. The safety was one thing that he had where he was almost unblocked, but I thought the second down play, he kept the back from bouncing out on what could have been a play that got him out of danger there. I thought that was an even better play, honestly.
Brian, were you were at the press conference yesterday, the sermon? Were you there?
I actually wasn't. I had an appointment, but I was writing about it, and I heard everything everybody else did.
One thing that stood out to me listening to it, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I think you know where I'm going when I start kind of trying to quote this. But Matt Rule's talking about, everyone says, oh, this guy's getting another opportunity, or he's getting more of an opportunity. But, actually, he's just getting better. They're just actually developing. It's not necessarily they're getting onto the field. The things that they've been practicing on is coming to fruition. Is it just as easy as the whole Matt Rule year 3 thing? The secret sauce is really just guys are actually developing, the player development, the things that they've been working on are finally coming to fruition. Is it just that?
Yeah, you really hope so, because when you do look at this roster, it's pretty young on paper. But the thing that always kind of countered that is, yes, it's young, but a lot of those guys are in at least their second or third year in the system. They know what's expected. They get the culture, and they sort of get the practice structure and how difficult it actually is to be a Husker. And I think be a part, and I say that in a complimentary way.
Sure.
And I think they would take it as such. It's tough, like over there. You got to be made a certain way, I think, to go through the setup that they have for those guys. And so I think they feel confident that they have a bunch of players, even of the younger variety, who, because some of them were here last year and they saw what it takes, they have made really good progress that has allowed them to be guys who can contribute now, even if they are a redshirt freshman or a third year sophomore or whatever. So, he had that quote a couple weeks ago, guys, where he said, this season's going to go as our twos go, basically is what he said. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Like it's going to matter like how these 2s and 3s respond, and if they can close the gap, and if you feel like as we're in the Big Ten play, there isn't a huge drop off between the junior and senior and that guy who comes in next. Like you don't feel like you just fell off a ledge there. So that's going to be, I think, the biggest tell all. And we're maybe picking up some clues so far, but again, we're sort of in the waiting room right now. It feels like for more.
What was your reaction to the now released leaked locker room speech Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to peek behind the curtain, so I enjoyed it. He sort of said it in the press conference. He was like, "This is what I said to the guys," and sure enough, it was exactly that. I mean, I like that standard of like, let's put it on these guys. Like, let's not let up and be satisfied around here with 40-0 or 40-7. If you can find a way to fuel guys and say, hey, they should have been kneeling it out there. They should have been like, we don't want any more of you guys in the first half. Instead, they're throwing the ball on you, and they got a field goal opportunity. You think that's good enough? I like that idea. I like putting into their heads, like, there's guys who are going to come up to you after the game from the other side at these lower schools, and they're going to shake your hand, but you want them, like, not looking you in the eye, honestly. You don't want them walking away thinking, man, I should have been a player at Nebraska. I could do as much as that guy across from me. It shouldn't be that way. And too often in recent years of Husker football, there hasn't felt like enough of a gap in games like last Saturday. And so that was good to see. I mean, we can truthfully say Akron's probably a pretty bad football team, but you still have to, nod your head approvingly when you say Nebraska put the type of score you should put on a bad football team. And when the backups came in, it felt like they were ready. And it wasn't one of those deals, which often happens in those games, where you get to 47-0 or whatever, and then it just stalls out and then ends up like 47-10 or something like that. So that was the impressive part of that game. They just kept going.
Any thoughts on Houston Christian?
You watched the
tape? I did not see the tape. I guess they played well on defense for who they played. Their first game was against an NAIA school, so they won that game 69-0. But people need to understand the levels of it. It was not a good team they played, and it was like 2 or 3 divisions lower than Nebraska. So they got that done. They held them to 105 yards, and then this last week, even though they lost 20-10 to Eastern Kentucky, which is not a bad FCS program, I think they outplayed them for the most part, but they fumbled it 4 times. Jeez. They only gave up like 170 yards. So if you want to talk yourself into like, hey, I got to be on edge or something about this game, I don't think you do, but their defense has played good football. Like they're averaging only giving up like 130 yards per game. So I think in Nebraska's camp, you talk that up and say sort of what Rule told them at halftime. It's like, go do what you did again. Like let's go make it a deal where they don't want to look you in the eye after the game as they shake your hand. So I think that's got to be the goal.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you on Saturday morning. Congratulations on your victory last night.
All right. I won't spike the football.
Hey,
but thanks.
No,
thanks
you
that.
can't spike the football. You guys deserve it. You guys have a really good defense, and I think you're going to be a good team this year.
All right. That's very very nice of you, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See you later, BC.
See ya.
They got a lot of calls.
Wow.
920. You got that one.
The holding call wasn't a holding. The pass interference to begin the game, they gave him 3 points against Aaron Jones. That was a flop. Right? They got the roughing the passer where the guy hit him with his shoulder. How is that roughing? That's just playing football. No, roughing the passer. Then they got that other pass interference that set up the on the 3rd down that set up the Aaron Jones touchdown, where number 1, the ball was uncatchable, and number 2, the guy just fell. I'm just saying, they got a lot of calls.
Okay.
We got 4 false starts.
The Connor Happer Show, by the way, is out at Winter Park this morning. Last homestand begins. They're taking on the White Sox affiliate, Charlotte. The Charlotte Knights, who play in an absolutely banger of a ballpark in downtown Charlotte. Great.
I can confirm.
Great.
I'm more of a Birmingham Barons fan.
Okay. All right.
I remember them.
They probably won.
Pretty sure 3 of those false starts were on Jonah Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he only had 12 penalties.
Joe Tooney looked good.
He did. I like Joe Tooney. He helped me a lot.
He's wearing my number.
Already off 18. That's a
60,
shame.
62.
That's a shame. It's a
Yeah,
shame.
I'm off 80 when you
7
don't
less
stand
than
in
I
the
expected.
pocket. Just rip the ball, dude.
Okay. Remember this next week when he goes into Ford Field and wins.
No, then but he's not going to.
You never know.
They are going to start the
There's
season.
a 50-50 chance every time you tee it up that somebody's going to win or lose.
They might start the season 0-4.
Ooh. I don't think I want you to be 0-4.
You know what? I think you do, because at that point I'll just give up and it'll just it won't matter anymore when they lose.
No, because then you'll be like in your wheelhouse because you like the draft. You'll be breaking down draft
I
prospects.
sent you a Todd McShay article this morning.
It's just week one. This will be out of fun. Well, at least the Cubs, who we think are going to make the postseason. All right, we're back with more Gary and Matt after this at 1620 The Zone.
Well, this is great
Method
music.
acting.
This is great music because it is fall, and that means Halloween is right around the corner, and your ability to go to pumpkin patches is available to you. This week's Zone half-off deal is passes to Vala's Pumpkin Patch. Good anytime pass is $42.99. A pair of passes is $85.98, which is 2 passes for the price of 1. Vala's is now open all the way from now until November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They got a ton of great attractions, have an apple swing. They got slide mountain tube slides. You have the Vala's Firefly drone show, which runs every Tuesday through Saturday night. An incredible opportunity to get some half-off Vala's Pumpkin Patch passes. Listen to the Connor Happer Show and Sportsmanlike Conduct all week for your chance to win a pair of tickets as well. You can find more details at 1620thezone.com.
Drove by there going to the game on Saturday. I think, was it their opening weekend? Or last weekend was their opening weekend? But there were plenty of cars at Vala's.
When's bye week?
And hey, weather looks great this Saturday. It's going to warm up. It's going to be, instead of wearing pants, probably no panter. Probably be a shorts guy.
No panter.
No panter.
Yeah.
No panter.
Frowned
Go back
at
to
for
shorts.
Vala's.
That's just
You don't wanna do
that's
that.
just me
Families.
when I get home after the show. Just a no panter, if you will.
Quick here aside, the Omaha men's basketball's full season schedule came out. It's a Summit League schedule. It's a 1-bid league. You prepare yourself to go to Sioux Falls. But as
oh yeah, where are you headed?
Well, so I knew where we were headed because I was checking in.
Right.
And I think selling season tickets is a little bit hard. They only have 2 Division I home games in the non-con. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's
Schools fear them
difficult to get home games. They have to do home and homes, and like the Murray State was supposed to be a home game, and now it's up in the Pentagon. So selling season tickets is a little bit tough, but they've done a great job because they sold the most season tickets they've ever sold coming off the NCAA. That's
awesome.
Birth. But here's what I do, and I do this with the Nebraska football schedule. I compare it to the NFL schedule. Like there'll be people that'll stick around the Twin Cities Friday night at Minnesota and then go to the Eagles-Vikings on Sunday.
Fun time.
I think the Ravens are home when Nebraska's at Maryland. Either the Rams or Chargers are home when Nebraska's at UCLA. So Nebraska's going to Colorado State on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I looked to see who Colorado State was playing.
Oh.
The day before, they're playing UNLV at home.
Okay.
The unbeaten
Dan
UNLV running Rebs, who
Okay.
just lost their quarterback for the year.
Yeah, Orgy.
Orgy, who was at Michigan.
But not in the portal like Sluka last year.
No, he got hurt.
Oh.
And then, so we are going to LSU. Thank you, Markel Sutton.
Is that game on a Thursday? Because then you can't see Mike.
Nope. It's on
Damn
a Friday night.
We played on a Thursday.
You leave.
But it's a road trip because we go to Miami afterwards. So I'm like, hey, we're going to stick around, be able to go to Death Valley.
Mhm.
I'm like, are they playing like a big-time SEC team?
Cupcake Saturday.
Yes. Western Kentucky.
Oh.
Now I will get to see Randy Lee,
Great mascot.
who is the former voice of Nebraska basketball, who has now, I think he told me this summer, he's now in his 20th year as the voice of the Hilltoppers. Yeah, Western Kentucky plays LSU. So I'm thinking, I'll be able to get a media pass, but I want to go see like a real game. So I look at that.
It's still a real game.
Well, I know,
But it's not Georgia.
Yeah.
They play next.
Yeah. Speaking of Nebraska basketball, congratulations to 2 fine people. There will be a new sidekick for Kent Pavelka this year. Coach Jeff Smith, who was on Danny Nee's staff, who has been doing high school basketball with our good friend Chris Schmidt down in Lincoln. So Coach Smith will be with Kent because Jake's really, really busy. He has a really, really good job, but he also has 2 kids who are starting travel ball. And so he's all into that. And so, unfortunately, he has to step away. I mean, Jake and Kent were a great combo.
Incredible combo.
And I think Coach Smith will be really good for Kent. I think they won't miss a beat on those broadcasts. So congratulations to both of those guys.
You're going to Oregon?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Eugene.
That'll be the Chris Crutchfield going back to his place where he was employed before he took the Omaha job.
With your eyes at court.
That's incredible. Christmas in Eugene. December.
Well, no, we won't. We won't spend Christmas there.
Well, I'm saying it's
Yeah,
December. I was saying that tongue in cheek.
But I'm
28th.
hoping that Oregon will be in the playoff because it'll be kind of like a little buzzy in that town.
Oh, sure. Was
Yeah.
there the 28th? Is that, do you know what day that is? Is that a
It's
Saturday?
a Sunday.
Okay.
You get a selfie with the duck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's got to happen.
Yeah, we
This,
play. You get Eugene on a Sunday. We seeing a lot of Dana Altman. Dana Altman and Mac are the speakers at the Creighton Prep Sports Banquet here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Now, I got a couple questions for you.
Oh, I got a big question.
Yeah.
Well, y'all are in Tampa when Nebraska plays in the Real Quest Bowl in
Quest.
Tampa on the New Year's Eve.
Relia Quest Bowl?
Relia Quest Bowl, whatever the hell it's called.
It's not Spanish.
Didn't it used to
Real.
be the Outback Bowl?
Yes.
Yes, the Outback Bowl was awesome.
The bowl formerly known as the Outback Bowl, where they had the I haven't been Outback in a while. What is it called? The tumbleweed? Not the
The
tumbleweed.
Bloomin' Onion?
The Bloomin' Onion
That's
mascot.
tumbleweed.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds in West
I'll tell you
Texas.
this right
Dude,
now.
I know. Hey, the old Gary
Yeah.
that weighed a lot more than I do now.
Yeah.
I could put down, man, a tumbleweed.
Well,
Or a- I'm blooming it.
do you know?
I got the
Old Dorothy on the tumbleweed
I got the great bar in Stillwater all screwed up here. So I could put down a blooming onion. And then there was one time I looked at the health,
Caloric.
Oh, yeah,
intake.
the caloric intake of it.
about 3,400 calories.
In my prime,
all makes sense now.
Before my stomach problems, I could do the Red Robin onion ring tower like
Oh,
it was
yeah?
nobody's business. I kill, and you'd get the. See, this is how bad it got because I used to be 215 pounds and I'm now like 180.
Yeah.
I knew that
As you
they had a different type of ranch at Red Robin. That's how bad it got. Like when you start knowing that
You started raising hell.
No, when you start knowing that the restaurant has specialty condiments that aren't on the menu, that's when you've known you kind of fallen into the deep end of like, all right, maybe we
Yeah.
got to like turn some
get
things
that.
around. Did you get that spicy ranch that they would
It
have? That
was
Chipotle
good.
ranch?
Like
you
a
like dip that.
campfire.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
Uh,
Dip
but
fries in it.
so while y'all are in Tampa for Nebraska's bowl game on
Good
New Year's
one.
Eve, Omaha opens up conference play New Year's Day, and of all places in God's green Summit League earth, Brookings, South Dakota. Now, it
see
could be
that.
worse. It could be in Vermilion or Grand Forks, like we were
I thought
last
you were
year.
gonna say Grand Forks.
We were in Grand Forks last year we went up on New Year's Day.
No, that'd be worse.
Yeah, they open a good game.
I was gonna say,
No students on campus. New Year's Day. Great job, Summit League. But everybody start looking at hotel rooms in Tampa.
hey, the Summit League knows what they're doing. You guys
No,
play.
they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
You guys play St. Thomas twice in 16 days.
Yeah,
That's
those would be national TV games.
Those are massive games. And
That's
then
where the
you got a
Vikings
tough
play. That's that,
look, knowing the very little amount, but enough about the Summit League, you got a tough start to the season. South Dakota State, Kansas City, North Dakota, NDSU, your first 4 games. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, there's 4-0 sitting there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple of those teams are not as good as you think. they are.
Okay. See, this is why I do this. This is why
Asses
I act
will be
ignorant,
kicked.
so I can say those things. And you'd
I
be like,
think
the
St.
Summit
Thomas
League
will be
game.
the preseason favorite because of who they added. If Omaha is not number 2, then let's just leave the Summit League and go to the Missouri Valley.
What? Casey's not going
Just
to be
kidding.
Casey's not going to be good this year? Kansas City?
I believe they have a bunch of new guys.
Okay.
They're good guys. Are going to look good playing nice Power 5 basketball this year.
Real
But
quick.
it'll be St. Thomas, Omaha, South Dakota State. South Dakota is going to be good.
This is where I show my ignorance here. I've never heard of Mid-American Christian before. I didn't. That's never a team that has popped across my
Played
timeline.
them. I think this will be the 4th straight year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And then where is Lamar located?
It is in Nacogdoches, Texas.
168th
Okay.
and Harrison.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a home and home that starts.
Gotcha.
So they
Texas.
tried Northern Iowa. They tried Drake. We played at Northern Iowa last year. It just didn't work out so well. But I wish the Summit League is better in basketball than people give it credit for.
Sure.
I just wish one year we could get a 2-bit league.
You're talking about the struggles of like trying to book like some P5 teams. Oregon and LSU. I mean, not
Well, Omaha doesn't have to play as many paycheck games as they played in the past,
Nice.
but they did have a hard time scheduling. So before the end of February last year, Omaha was going to play Florida in Gainesville.
You were hinting at that.
Yeah, and then Florida was like, "Man, we're good."
Well, then you said when they announced that they were going to play LSU, you were like, that wasn't even confirmed yet. Like you were.
No, LSU announced it before
Yeah.
like there was a contract.
That's funny.
That's the world of we'll get Crutch on, and he can tell the stories. They had a really hard time scheduling, and you go, wait a minute, we lost the player of the year and the number one guard. I know we return a lot of people, but it's because Omaha's RPI is going to start the highest it's ever started.
Nice.
And there's a lot of people that schedule look at that. Now, Omaha's schedule there's some difficulty in there because Portland State, I think, has a long home winning streak. Okay. Northern Colorado was in the NCAA tournament. So it's not a bad schedule. Just I wish the home schedule would be better.
So another thing too, though, you guys, and not that, I mean, I'm sure you do it every year, but in particularly, like, you're going everywhere and across the
Always
country.
Playing, we get to play in 4 time zones.
I know.
And Coach is smart, man. When it's cold here, we go warm places like Miami and Texas.
Well, you got at Portland State on December 6th, and then 22 days later, you're back on the West Coast playing Oregon.
Yeah, the Portland State is the Big Sky Summit League Challenge, so they have no. Yeah,
the Big Sky Summit League Challenge. That's awesome.
3rd year.
Can we get the ACC Big Ten Challenge back, please?
If there were better matchups, can we also do this? Can we get like the Big East Conference schedule and the Big Ten Conference schedule? That's probably
more of a concerning matter.
It's now September 9th.
Is there a Pick Six previews for college basketball?
There is a Blue Ribbon.
Okay.
Blue Ribbon is really good, and it's already out.
I'll go ahead and pick
Field
that
of
up.
68 put out one 2 years ago. They did not do one last year. But the Blue Ribbon is,
I'll go ahead and pick that publication up. I'm still pulling out my Pick Six preview reading, and the Pick Six preview is good through the first 4 weeks. Once we get into the conference games is when you start putting that book away.
Quick thought here, because Billy Napier is, as y'all youngins like to say, he's on the hot seat, should be fired. He's cooked. Why do people think the Florida Gator football job is a great job?
Well, because of the history of it, the 2 national titles that they won, the part of the country where
there's only been 2 guys that have ever won there.
Yeah, but it's still in the SEC.
No,
it's
there's
still
only
a
been
name
2
brand,
guys that have ever won there.
but still 2 more than a lot of schools. I mean, you could win. I mean, they've won national championships. I mean, it's proven that you can get that.
Their
done.
facilities compared to other teams in the SEC,
Not good.
Because people are like, hey, Napier's got this rough stretch. They're probably going to fire him by November so they can get a head start on the coaching job instead of a spark to get him to a better bowl game. Maybe Lane Kiffin will come there. Lane Kiffin might have a better gig in Oxford than Gainesville, and people go, whoa, it's Florida. You got the state of Florida.
I wouldn't consider a Florida job a job where it's like a Dan Lanning or like a notable guy that's already at a proven program would want to jump ship.
Well, look,
and go
they
over
wanted
there,
they wanted Frost before he came to Nebraska. They wanted Chip Kelly.
That's interesting. I still think Florida's. It's
only 2 guys have won there.
No, you're right. You're
and you could make the case that people might look at Nebraska and say the same thing. Only 2 guys have won there.
So you're very correct, and it's like it's not at the level of like an Alabama or a Georgia or what a Michigan or Ohio State would. I mean,
Texas
or anybody. Like there are a lot of coaches that would drop the current gig that they have now to go to one of those teams that I just mentioned. I don't think Florida's in that convo. I still think though you're in the SEC and you're in a great place to recruit. Like. Mm-hmm. Florida high school football is so good and it's so much different, and you're right in the heartland of it. Like I think if you get the right guy and a good recruiter, you can make that work.
I think it's a good job, but I think you have to pull back some layers before you say, "Man, that's a great job," and you give all the reasons that you had.
Sure. Well, I think that the struggles that they've had over the last couple of years and them not being as successful as maybe they once were has more to do with just bad hires.
It's been 5 straight years since Florida has finished in the AP poll at the end of the year.
That's crazy to me.
Oh.
That's crazy.
All right, quick break. We'll come back. We'll catch up and wrap up on this Tuesday edition after a Monday Night Football last night. I always say that every Tuesday.
No, I just like the DJ over there who's now trying to mix in a nice little happy song after absolutely bearing me every time we bump into
postseason and ReliaQuest and Warm and Bloomin' Onions. Yeah,
Tampa looks really good on December 31st for Nebraska.
Do you know
79 degrees at kickoff.
Who owns the Outback Bowl or who owned the Outback Bowl?
The Outback?
The Northwestern Wildcats were always in that game. Then the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah,
those are my fondest memories.
With a backup running back, I wonder how they'll own Oregon.
No, Cam Porter has been the backup running back. It's Joe Hyman's show now.
You don't get that breakdown of Northwestern's replacement running back anywhere else except for this show.
We've talked about Chicago football enough. We don't have to talk about more Chicago football.
And you have a podcast.
Yeah, we ain't talking about that on that pod.
We're back with more after this. All right, just a couple of days away from Saturday, which will feature a guy who has been ducking good competition, will finally decide to get in the ring with a really good boxer that's not named Jake Paul.
Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and watch Canelo's fights today. That'll be on my docket. Wow, that's exciting.
You're not going to be on to the Lions and break down the film of Jared Goff?
No.
Who
They have new coordinators.
without Sean McVay and Ben Johnson calling plays for Jared Goff, he is 0-19-1.
That is crazy.
That's gotta be a
wild.
little uplifting on a morning that's been kind of rough for you. That's
Everybody was telling me I had to deal with, because Josh Peterson and I are doing this little Sunday NFL thing, and Josh was trying to tell me how talented the Lions were and how great the Lions were and how injured they were last season. Me and Connor Happer have been simpatico on the Lions being a bad vibes team. I have been off that trend. So then that stat does not surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all, one bit.
So how would you feel if he was 1-19-1 next Monday?
God, don't put that in my brain.
Because that would mean they won, right?
This is. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was just parading around telling people how right I was about the Lions, and now that is gonna happen. He is gonna win his first game without two generational coordinators.
You never know. There's some teams that win, some teams that lose. So you got a shot.
I think that's the best Frank Caliendo impression when he does the John Madden. He goes, the teams that are playing today, some teams are going to win today, and the teams that are not playing today aren't going to win today.
Kelly writes into the Equitable Bank inbox about your quarterback. Matt's quarterback paints his nails. All you need to know.
Dylan Raiola doesn't paint his nails.
Well, you're already off the Bears.
Well, it's Husker season, baby. They're 2-0. Don't you know?
Oh, boy. Front runner over here.
What do you mean front runner?
Yeah. You bailed on your NFL team.
I'm not bailing
One
on
game.
anybody.
They only lost by 3. I haven't bailed on the Chiefs.
Blackhawks start.
First off, don't even compare. They've won you 3 Super Bowls in 5 years.
This is a me and you thing. This is not about our team. It's about bailing. I'm sticking with them.
Yeah, it's been very easy for you to hold on to the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 15 years.
It was not easy to watch that first half Friday night.
To be fair, the Tyler Thigpen years were rough, and you stuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when you guys didn't have
freezing.
Mahomes,
I was young Gary, freezing at Arrowhead as Stephon Page caught so many footballs that he went over, I think, 300 yards receiving against the Jets. It was December. There was nobody there except for the Sharps. They had a game just for us back in the 80s.
Thankfully, because of our president, nobody's going to have to be worried about being cold and young at Bears games anymore. We're getting a dome, baby. It's going to be awesome.
I was like, did I miss something?
Because the current president in Chicago,
fanciest stadium.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No. I'm talking about the only president that matters. And that's Kevin Warren.
Okay. Well,
it's Kevin Warren.
Okay.
I remember.
Sorry.
Him.
I thought you were talking about the president, President Trump.
I don't know what he's doing, man. I got no idea what that guy's probably. Nope. Not going to say anything.
His teams are 1-0.
No, Kevin Warren has done what is right for that team and that city. He's going to move that team out of that dump that's a hellhole to get to, that Soldier Field, and he's going to put them in an incredible residential place like Arlington Heights, which has everything the Bears and Bears fans need. And it's going to be incredible. They're going to have a dome. They're going to host events. They're not going to have to worry about having crappy. You're never going to have to put sand down on the field right before you play a massive primetime game.
You know what? It'll be great for the people that really want to embrace the wonderful city of Chicago, which it is, and stay downtown, stay in the city, and then sit in traffic on 90 trying to get out to Arlington Heights to go to a game. Boy, that'll be a lot of fun. 25 miles from downtown. Guys, sounds like it'll be wonderful.
You stay at the W. Stay at the W Hotel, okay? Then
what about the Drake?
Walk or the Drake, but the W's closer. Walk to Union Station and just take the Metro from Chicago, from Union all the way to Arlington Heights, and puts you right on the doorstep of Arlington Park.
When you were gone, the same train that Matt says you can pick up in Chicago, and it drops you off in downtown Lincoln.
That I got the Amtrak and Metro confused. All right, I have some bad moments.
They are drastically different.
I have some bad moments. All right, remember Donnie Osmond?
Oh, we'll never forget.
Yeah, remember.
In peace. Hey, remember yesterday?
What did I do yesterday?
You gave the guy that's out of Warner Park that's going to join us a little bit of a vasectomy.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was-
How'd that
was
go?
Yeah,
You were
there
wrong.
go.
Connor is good. His equipment is working well.
Shout out Connor. Way to go.
That's what he said. I don't know that for a fact. I've never asked. I don't really care to ask, but he said it with confidence. But Matt tried to.
I read the tweet wrong.
Matt tried to force a 3 and out, and Connor said, "No, I'm in the 2-minute offense."
We're driving. We're running the
Maybe
damn
a
ball.
minute.
All right. Will the crossover's coming up next again? Connor Happer show is out in Sarpy County today. I bet they made it through I-80 and Giles.
God.
We'll see. I'll see them shortly.
I had a dream last night of literally driving through the highway straight through 80 and Giles. No joke.
Yeah, a lot of people did when they got out of Chicago last night because of that football team and that result.
I didn't go to bed until 2:00.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Thinking about this team.
Huh. You have a chance to go 1-1, but you could also be 0-2. That's how football works.
There's a Sidney Crosby tweet. No, he's fine.
Said the kid. All right. Thanks to Sam. Thanks to BC. Little Bears, little Vikings.
I thought
We're
Crosby
on.
got traded for a second. I'm sorry.
Not going to happen. We're on to Houston Christian and a little bit of Michigan when we rejoin you tomorrow. It's Coordinator Tuesday in Lincoln. We'll react. We'll have the crossover come to next for Jimmy for he'll be fine. Can't really take a lot of stuff away in week 1 of the NFL. Get 16 more.
Get a nap in. Get
Stop
yourself a
singing.
burger. in.
I'm Gary. It's Scary Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Up on the stage.